You've heard myths before, but what if you lived one? Tonight, you step into ancient Greece, where beauty becomes a curse. Trust risks everything, and even God's cross, forbidden lines. But first, let your breathing slow, relax into the night, and prepare to become the heart of a story where mortal passion defies divine rule. You're born under a full moon in a small Greek city by the sea. Salt and jasmine perfume the night as your first cry echoes down stone corridors. When your mother first sees your face, she weeps not from joy, but from fear, because your beauty is unnatural, perfect. Skin glows pale as moonlight, and your eyes seem deeper than the night sky. The midwife drops to her knees in whispered prayer, her weathered hands trembling as she wraps you in linen, begging the gods for protection. But it's already too late. Some gifts are curses in disguise. As you grow, your beauty stops strangers in their tracks. Merchants forget their goods, mothers leave errands unfinished, and children stare in awe and fear. Travelers cross seas to glimpse you through your window, leaving gold bangles, ivory combs, and perfect pearls at your doorstep. You're like a goddess in a shrine, but you're not a goddess. You're just a girl who longs to laugh with friends, run through olive groves, and be loved for something beyond your perfect face. Your father, a humble potter, builds higher walls around your home, his hands trembling as each stone rises, meant to shield you from the world's hungry gaze. Your mother keeps you hidden inside, away from crowds that gather at dawn, desperate for one glimpse of impossible beauty. Days pass slowly behind wooden shutters. Bars of shadow and light fall across your face, a prison you never chose. You press your eye to the cracks, watching normal girls, your age carrying water, chasing laughter through narrow streets. Their faces bright and ordinary. You ache to join them, to feel sun-warmed skin and dirt beneath your nails, to be scolded for tearing your dress on olive branches. Instead, you sit brushing your hair with a silver comb, counting hours until sunset. The bronze mirror shows the face that has become your cage-perfect eyebrows, lips like petals, skin glowing softly. Sometimes you wonder if you could scratch it, scar it, make yourself ordinary enough to have friends. But even your tears fall, beautifully like crystals, catching the light. But the greatest burden is not isolation, it's the temples of Aphrodite, goddess of love and beauty, now stand abandoned. Her altars are bare, prayers silent, offerings forgotten because mortals prefer to worship you. They carve your face in marble, paint your eyes on pottery, whisper your name in prayers once meant for Aphrodite. Old women who once lit candles for the goddess now light them for you. Young men kneel outside your home, begging for your glance, and late at night, you feel the gaze of something ancient and angry. A goddess watches from Olympus, her displeasure chilling your bones, promising punishment for worship you never wanted. Your parents feel it too. Birds fall silent when you pass. Flowers bloom out of season. Storms gather in clear skies. They offer honey and wine to Aphrodite, begging forgiveness for your beauty. But divine anger, once awakened, does not easily fade. Your dreams grow restless, haunted by visions of a woman with stormy eyes, her flawless face twisted in fury. You wake with your heart pounding, knowing somewhere a goddess plots your destruction. Each day you grow lovelier, feels like a countdown. You cannot stop being beautiful any more than the sun can cease rising, or the sea cease calling to shore. Tonight, as candlelight dances in your hair, you cannot know that golden eyes watch from Olympus, that your fate is decided by beings who shape worlds with a glance. for now you're simply a girl, beautiful beyond measure, lonely beyond words, trapped in a blessing that feels like a curse. But let that worry drift away now, like smoke on the evening breeze. In this story, you're safe, held gently by ancient moonlight, protected by a love already seeking you out. Even the most beautiful souls find happiness. Eventually, tomorrow brings new mysteries, but tonight, let yourself settle into peaceful sleep. High on Mount Olympus, where clouds kiss marble columns, Aphrodite paces through golden halls, her feet, more perfect than any sculptor could carve, barely touch crystal floors. Rage lifts her like heat rising from summer stones, divine fury burning in her immortal heart. She watches you through a silver mirror, its surface rippling softly, revealing every detail of the mortal world below. There you are, brushing your dark hair, unaware that divine eyes study your every movement. Aphrodite sees how mortals bow to your beauty, how they whisper prayers once meant only for her. Look how they worship her. Aphrodite whispers, words carried by celestial winds, a mere mortal girl stealing devotion that belongs only to me. Her temples, once the pride of Greece, now crumble. Marble altars gather dust, candles flicker out, and sacred doves flee neglected shrines, all because of Yuan, mortal girl whose beauty surpasses even divine perfection. As you braid flowers into your hair, you cannot know that a goddess counts each petal with growing rage. As you feed crumbs to sparrows, immortal eyes burn with envy. The mirror reveals more than your outward beauty, shows your gentle smile, comforting a crying child, your kindness sharing food with beggars, your innocence as you sing lullabies to baby animals. And this kindness, this pure-hearted goodness, fuels Aphrodite's anger. If you were vain, selfish, cruel, she could strike you down without hesitation. But your beauty is matched by purity, and this feels like a personal insult. How dare she, the goddess breathes, her words freezing flowers into ice. Be everything I am but mortal, innocent, loved without effort. For the first time in eternity, Aphrodite sees worry reflected in her own flawless, a goddess-fearing replacement. She summons her son, her voice echoing like thunder across marble halls. Eros, he appears instantly, wings soft as dove, feathers yet powerful as eagle flight. His bow is slung casually, arrows ready to inspire love or shatter peace. Eros has seen his mother angry before, but never like this. Her rage fills the air like dangerous perfume, sweet yet suffocating. You see this mortal girl. Aphrodite points to the mirror, now showing you sleeping peacefully in your simple bed. When Eros looks, his breath catches, just for an instant like a bird striking unseen glass. She steals my worship, Aphrodite continues, her voice sharp as winter wind. Mortals pray to her, they build shrines, they love her more than me. Her anger makes the air shimmer, golden objects vibrating with tension. You will make her love someone hideous, cruel, monstrous, the ugliest creature on earth. Let her beauty be wasted on someone unworthy. Eros nods slowly, but his eyes linger on your sleeping face. A gentle sadness softens your dreams, stirring impossible feelings in his immortal heart. Gods don't feel protective tenderness. They don't long to shield instead of harm. Choose your arrow carefully, Aphrodite commands coldly, pacing like a caged predator. Make her love painful, hopeless, a curse that lasts forever. Eros reaches into his quiver, fingers brushing powerful arrows. Gold for true love, silver for passion, bronze for obsession, iron for heartache. He knows he should obey swiftly, fulfill his mother's vengeance, but something in your innocent face stops him. You look peaceful, unaware, undeserving. She doesn't even know, he whispers. She doesn't know she's stolen anything. Ignorance is no excuse, Aphrodite snaps. Beauty-like, hers is a weapon, whether she wields it or not. Go now, she commands, scattering rose petals like snowflakes. Before dawn breaks, before she wakes, end this insult. Eros spreads his luminous wings, feathers catching starlight like pearls, and rises into the sky, carrying divine vengeance toward earth. Yet, as he soars through clouds and constellations, he senses something unfamiliar, feeling God's rarely experienced doubt. The wind whispers your name, and for the first time, the God of love wonders if love itself has other plans. Let your breathing deepen now, soft as evening mist settling over ancient hills. Even divine plans may change when hearts become involved. Rest peacefully in that gentle mystery. The story unfolds, but sleep can take you gently whenever you're ready. Eros flies through the midnight sky, his wings silent as owl feathers, cutting through air thick with salt and starlight. The mortal world spreads below him, a tapestry of sleeping cities, dark forests, silver rivers winding toward distant seas. He has flown this path countless times, carrying love and heartbreak, joy and sorrow, to mortals who never see him coming. But tonight feels different, weighted with purpose, heavy with his mother's rage. Below him, your city sleeps peacefully by the harbor. Fishing boats rock gently, their masts swaying like drowsy dancers. Cats prowl empty streets, hunting mice that scurry between cobblestones. Night-blooming flowers open their petals, filling the air with jasmine and honeysuckle. The God of love knows every house, every heart, every dream that drifts through these narrow streets. He has brought passion to the baker's daughter, comfort to the widow on the hill, first love to countless young hearts. But he has never brought destruction, until now. He lands softly on your bedroom windowsill, his bare feet making no sound on sun-warmed stone. The wooden shutters are cracked open, letting in cool sea air that carries the scent of salt and seaweed. Through the gap, he can see you, sleeping deeply, one hand tucked under your cheek like a child. Even in sleep, your beauty steals his breath. Moonlight streams across your face, turning your skin to silver, your hair to dark water. Your lips are slightly parted, breathing soft and steady, each exhale a whisper of dreams. You're wearing a simple white nightgown. Nothing fancy, nothing designed to enhance your looks. But even in rough linen, you look like a goddess who has forgotten her divine nature. Eros draws an arrow from his quiver, the tip gleaming with golden light that seems to pulse with its own heartbeat. This arrow will make you love whoever he chooses, with a passion that cannot be broken, cannot be reasoned away, cannot be escaped. His mother's words echo in his mind. Someone hideous, someone cruel, let her beauty be wasted. The God of love knows every monster in the world. He could make you love Typhon, the 100-headed serpent, with breath that kills and eyes that burn, or perhaps Medusa, whose gaze turns mortals to stone, whose hair writhes with living snakes. There are cruel kings who torture their subjects, pirates who burn villages, thieves who steal children from their mothers. Any of them would be perfect, would turn your beauty into a curse worse than death. But as he watches you sleep, something inside him begins to crack. You shift slightly, murmuring something soft, perhaps the name of someone you love or a word from a happy dream. Your face relaxes into the kind of peace that comes only to those with clear consciences. This is not the face of someone who chose to steal worship from a goddess. This is the face of someone who just wants to belong, to be normal, to be loved. For more than the accident of her birth, he steps closer, bare feet silent on stone floors, worn smooth by generations of ordinary people. Your room is simple. No golden furniture, no jeweled mirrors, no signs of the wealth that your beauty could have brought you. Just wooden chests that smell of cedar, woven blankets in faded blues and greens, dried flowers hanging from the ceiling like gentle prayers. There's a water pitcher on a small table, with a crack running down one side, a hairbrush with worn bristles, a few books, their pages yellow with age, a wooden doll that you must have loved as a child, now sitting forgotten in a corner. This is not the room of someone who seeks divine attention. This is the room of someone who just wants to live quietly, to find simple happiness, to love and be loved in return. Eros raises his bow, draws the string back, aims carefully at your sleeping heart, but his hands begin to shake. You shift in your sleep again, turn onto your side, and your hair spills across the pillow like dark water in the moonlight. He can see the gentle curve of your cheek, the flutter of your eyelashes, the way your lips form silent words. "What have you done to me?" he whispers, knowing you cannot hear, knowing that his voice carries the sound of breaking, of something immortal learning what it means to doubt. Gods don't feel this way, this protective tenderness, this desire to guard rather than destroy, this need to shelter rather than harm. He should complete his mission, send his arrow deep into your heart, bind you to some monster, watch your beauty become a source of endless pain. But as he leans closer, studying your sleeping face, memorizing each feature like a prayer, his arrow hand trembles. You're dreaming. He can tell by the way your eyes move beneath closed lids, by the tiny smile that curves your lips. Good dreams, gentle dreams, the kind that come to those who have never harmed another soul. The golden tip of his arrow, so carefully aimed, so precisely positioned. Suddenly wavers, his hand jerks, just slightly, and the sharp point scratches his own wrist. One tiny drop of divine blood, golden as honey, bright as sunlight, falls onto the arrowhead dot, like earthquakes that reshape mountains, like storms that sink ships and flood valleys. Not gentle affection, not mild attraction, but love so powerful, so overwhelming, so complete, that it nearly brings the God of love himself to his knees. Every breath you take becomes precious to him. Every flutter of your eyelashes, every soft sigh, every peaceful moment of sleep carves itself into his immortal heart with letters of fire. He staggers backward, wings folding tight against his shoulders, clutching his wounded wrist, staring at you with eyes that now see everything differently. This is impossible. Gods don't fall in love, especially not with mortals, especially not when sent to destroy them, especially not with their own arrows. But the arrow's magic, mixed with his own divine blood, creates something new, something forbidden, something that changes the very nature of what he is. "What have I done?" he breathes, backing toward the window, his perfect form trembling like a leaf in wind you sleep on, unaware that your life has just changed forever, unaware that a God sent to curse you with horrible love has instead fallen so deeply, so completely, so hopelessly in love with you, that he would defy heaven itself to keep you safe, unaware that divine blood now stains an arrow that was meant to destroy you, but will instead save you. Eros spreads his wings, launches into the star-filled sky, his mission forgotten, his mother's commands fading like echoes, but he will return, because love, even divine love, especially divine love, cannot stay away behind him. You smile in your sleep, as if some part of you, some deep dreaming part, knows that somewhere in the darkness, love has found you at last. Let the night air carry your worries. Like seabirds returning to their nests, love finds its way, even in the darkest tales, even when gods make plans. Rest now, knowing some stories end in unexpected joy. More awaits you when you're ready to continue. Eros flies through the night sky, his wings beating frantically, trying to escape what he cannot outrun. The wound on his wrist burns like molten gold, divine blood mixing with arrow magic, creating something that has never existed before. Love, real love, in the heart of the god who creates it for others. He lands hard on a mountaintop, far from mortal eyes, far from his mother's palace, far from you. But distance means nothing when love has taken root in an immortal heart. The stars wheel overhead, ancient and cold, but they cannot cool the fire that burns in his chest. He presses his back against rough stone, wings folded tight, trying to understand what has happened to him. For thousands of years, he has shot his arrows into mortal hearts. He has watched them fall, watched them suffer, watched them die for love, but he has never felt it himself, never understood the madness he creates. Now he knows. Love is not gentle, it is not kind, it is a wildfire that consumes everything, a storm that destroys and rebuilds, a wound that never heals. Your face fills his mind, sleeping so peacefully, unaware that a god has fallen. Your dark hair spread across white pillows, your lips curved in dreams, your breathing soft as whispered prayers. He touches his wounded wrist, and golden light pulses under his skin. The arrow's magic has changed him, made him vulnerable, made him mortal in the worst possible way. Gods are not supposed to love, especially not mortals, especially not the mortal his mother once destroyed. What have you done to me, to the night itself? But there is no answer, only the echo of his own voice, bouncing off mountain peaks. Lost in the vast darkness, he thinks of returning to Olympus, of telling his mother what happened, of confessing his failure. But Aphrodite's rage would be terrible, swift, final. She would not understand, would not forgive, would not accept that love cannot be controlled. She would find another way to destroy you, and this time she would make sure no one could interfere. The thought of you in danger, of you suffering, of you crying out for help that will never come, makes his divine heart clench like a fist. He has to protect you. But how? How can he defy his mother, the goddess of love herself, without bringing her wrath down on both of you? Eros spreads his wings, lifts into the air, and flies back toward your city. He cannot stay away, cannot resist the pull of his own arrows. Magic cannot bear to be separated from you for even a moment. He lands again on your windowsill. But this time, everything is different. This time he sees you not as a target, but as the other half of his soul you sleep on, innocent of the chaos you have caused, unaware that divine love has found you, claimed you, bound itself to you with chains that cannot be broken. Moonlight, and he sees things he missed before. The way your eyelashes cast tiny shadows, the gentle curve of your neck, the small scar on your chin from some childhood accident. These imperfections, these signs of your mortality, make you more beautiful, not less. They remind him that you are real, fragile, precious beyond measure. He reaches through the window, fingertips barely touching your hair, soft as silk, warm from sleep, alive in a way that divine beauty never is. "I was sent to destroy you," he whispers, his voice breaking, "but I cannot, I will not, I would die first." The words hang in the air, a vow, a promise, a declaration of war against the very heavens. You stir slightly, and he freezes, afraid to wake you, afraid to break this perfect moment, but you only sigh, turn your face toward his touch, and smile in your sleep. That smile, trusting and innocent, breaks something in his immortal heart. You do not know him, do not know what he is, but some part of you, some dreaming part, recognizes love when it finds you. He pulls his hand back, knowing he cannot stay, knowing that discovery would mean disaster for both of you. But as he prepares to leave, you speak one word, soft as a prayer: stay. His heart stops, starts again, beats so hard he thinks it might burst. Do you know he is here? Are you dreaming of him, or are you simply asking the night itself to stay with you, to keep you safe from whatever darkness awaits? He wants to stay, wants to climb through your window, wants to lie beside you, wants to hold you until the sun rises and the world makes sense again. But he is a god, and you are mortal, and there are laws, ancient laws, that even love cannot break. "I will stay," he whispers back, "though you cannot hear. I will always stay. Somehow, some way, I will find a way to be with you." The promise echoes in the night air, witnessed by stars, blessed by moonlight, sealed with divine blood. But even as he makes this vow, he knows the danger. His mother will expect a report, will want to know that you are suffering, that her revenge is complete. Will have to deceive the goddess of love herself, will have to pretend that his mission succeeded, while secretly protecting you from the fate she has planned. The thought terrifies him, but love, real love, makes cowards into heroes, makes the impossible seem simple. He will find a way. He must find a way, because a world without you is no world at all. Eros spreads his wings one last time, takes to the sky, carrying his secret love like a sacred flame. Behind him, you sleep peacefully, protected by love you do not yet know exists, guarded by a god who has learned that sometimes the hunter becomes the hunted, and sometimes that is exactly how it should be. Let your heart rest in the knowledge that love, even forbidden love, finds a way. Divine protection watches over you even in sleep, even in dreams. Rest now, knowing that someone, somewhere, loves you beyond reason, beyond law, beyond everything. 3 days pass, like pages torn from a book of sorrow. 3 days since Eros was sent to destroy you, but failed to return. 3 days of silence from the heavens, while Aphrodite's rage grows like a storm gathering strength. You wake each morning, unaware that your life hangs by a thread, that divine eyes watch your every move, that love and death circle you like vultures. But the city, your city, begins to change. The air grows heavy, oppressive, as if the very sky holds its breath. Birds stop singing, flowers wilt without reason, the sea turns gray as old pewter. Something is coming, something terrible, and everyone can feel it, even if they cannot name it. The oracle lives in a cave, high on the mountain, where sulfur springs bubble up from the earth's depths. She is ancient, older than memory, her eyes clouded with visions of futures that mortals should never see. For weeks she has been restless, pacing her sacred chamber, muttering words in languages that predate human speech. The gods are angry, the fates are spinning new threads, and death is coming for someone beautiful. Your father climbs the mountain. Tath, his sandals slipping on loose stones, his heart heavy with dread. He has heard the whispers, seen the signs, knows that something divine and terrible is focused on his family. The oracle's cave mouth yawns like a hungry mouth, breathing out warm, where that smells of sulfur and prophecy. He enters, trembling, carrying offerings of honey and wine, hoping to appease whatever power has marked his daughter. I know why you come. The oracle speaks, her voice like wind through dry leaves. I have seen her face in the sacred flames. Beautiful, too beautiful, cursed by her own perfection. Your father falls to his knees. Tell me how to save her. Tell me what the gods want. I will give anything, do anything. But the oracle shakes her head, gray hair floating around her like smoke. The die is cast. The goddess has spoken. Your daughter must pay the price for beauty that rivals the divine. The words hit him like physical blows, each syllable a dagger to his heart. He has always known, always feared, that your beauty would bring disaster. But knowing and hearing are different things, different kinds of pain. What must she do? He whispers, though he already knows. Can see it in the oracle's pitying eyes, that there is no escape, no bargain to be made, no mercy to be found. The oracle's voice changes, becomes deeper, older, as if the earth itself is speaking through her lips. She must be dressed as a bride in white robes, with flowers in her hair, and taken to the highest cliff where the wind meets the sea. Your father's heart stops, restarts, pounds against his ribs like a caged bird. No, there must be another way. She is innocent. She never asked for this beauty, never wanted the worship. Innocence matters not to jealous gods. Beauty is crime enough when it steals what belongs to the divine. The oracle's eyes roll back, showing only white, as the god Apollo speaks through her, his voice like golden bells, beautiful and terrible. She must be left there, alone, to await her husband, who will come for her on wings of shadow, with scales like midnight, and eyes that burn like stars. A monster she is to marry a monster, some terrible creature sent by the gods to punish her for the crime of being beautiful. Your father weeps, tears falling like rain on sacred stones. When must this happen? 3 days hence, at sunset, when the boundary between worlds grows thin. Let her go, or watch your city burn, your people suffer, your family pay the price for defying divine will. He stumbles from the cave, legs weak as water, heart shattered like dropped pottery. How can he tell you? How can he tell your mother? How can he sentence his own daughter, his precious child, to such a fate? But as he walks home through streets that seem darker somehow, he knows he has no choice. The gods have spoken, and mortals, even loving fathers, must obey. Your mother is waiting, standing in the doorway, her face already wet with tears. She knows, even before he speaks, can see the truth written in his eyes, in the way his shoulders slump, in the broken way he walks. When she whispers, her voice barely audible, like wind through grass. 3 days, he says, and the words taste like ash, like endings, like the death of hope. They hold each other in the fading light, grieving for their daughter, who is still alive, still laughing, still unaware that her life has been measured and found wanting, which decide to tell you at sunset, when the light is golden and kind, when the world looks its most beautiful, before darkness falls forever. You are in the garden, tending to the roses, your hands gentle on the thorns, your humming soft as bee song. You look up when they approach, and your smile innocent and trusting. breaks their hearts all over again, daughter. Your father begins, then stops, words failing him, love choking him, fear making him speechless. You see their faces, see the tears they try to hide, and your own smile fades, replaced by the cold touch of premonition. What is it, you ask? Though part of you already knows, has always known, that this day would come. What has happened? Your mother takes your hands, holds them tight, as if she can keep you safe through touch alone. The oracle has spoken. The gods have decreed. You must, but she cannot say it, cannot speak the words that will destroy you, cannot sentence her own child to such a fate. So your father speaks, his voice steady, though his heart is breaking. You must go to the cliff in 3 days at sunset to meet your husband, the one the gods have chosen for you. You stare at him, not understanding, not believing. My husband, but I am not betrothed. I have never even, no one has ever. A monster, your mother whispers, her voice like breaking glass. The oracle says, a creature with wings and scales and burning eyes will come for you. The words hang in the air, impossible, unbelievable, like something from a nightmare, from a story told to frighten children. But you see the truth in their faces, see that this is real, that this is happening, that your beauty, your cursed beauty, has finally claimed its price. You sink to your knees among the roses, their thorns catching at your dress, their petals falling like tears around you. The world spins, tilts, becomes strange and distant, as if you are watching someone else's life, someone else's tragedy. Why, you whisper, though you know the answer, have always known. Why must I suffer for something I never chose, never wanted? Your parents kneel beside you, hold you close, their love a warmth that cannot drive away the cold spreading through your heart, because the gods are jealous, your father says, his voice heavy with bitter truth, because beauty like yours threatens even divine perfection, because we are mortal, and mortals are disposable. You cry then, for the first time in years, tears falling like rain on parched earth, like offering to gods who will never be satisfied, like the last drops of hope draining away. 3 days. You have 3 days to say goodbye to everything, to prepare for a fate worse than death, to marry a monster and leave the world of light forever. But high above, hidden in clouds, Eros watches, his divine heart breaking, his mind racing, his love burning like a star. You will not face this alone. You will not suffer for divine jealousy, not if he can help it, even if it means defying his mother, even if it means war with the heavens, even if it means his own destruction. He will save you, somehow, some way. Love will find a way if they need to, even in dreams. But remember, love is watching, love is planning. Love will not let you face the darkness alone. 3 days can hold forever. When someone loves you beyond reason, beyond fear, beyond everything. Rest now in the knowledge that even the darkest moments can become the beginning of something beautiful. 3 days pass, like 3 eternities compressed into moments. You spend them saying goodbye to everything you have ever loved. You touch the walls of your room, memorize the view from your window, breathe in the scent of your mother's bread baking, listen to your father's laughter, knowing you will never hear these sounds again. Your mother weaves you a wedding dress, white as cloud, soft as moonlight, beautiful as sorrow. Her tears fall onto the cloth, each drop a prayer, each stitch a blessing, each thread a way of saying, I love you, I will miss you, I will remember you. Always thought the whole city knows, where it spreads like wildfire, like plague, like the shadow of wings. People gather in the streets, weeping, wailing, as if their own daughter, their own sister, their own beloved, is walking to her doom. But you feel strangely calm, as if grief has burned through you, leaving behind something clear, something crystalline, something that might be acceptance or might be numbness. The sun sets, painting the sky in shades of gold and crimson, like a funeral pyre, like the end of the world. It is time. You dress slowly, carefully, as if this were a real wedding, a joyful occasion, instead of a sacrifice to divine anger. The white dress flows around you, ethereal, ghostly, making you look like a spirit, like someone already between worlds. Your mother braids flowers in your hair, jasmine and roses, white lilies and baby's breath, a crown of beauty for beauty's last day. Her hands shake, but her touch is gentle, loving, trying to give you strength for what is to come. Your father waits outside, holding a torch, though the sun has not yet fully set. He looks older, gray-haired, bent with sorrow, as if these 3 days have aged him years. It is time, he says, his voice steady, though his eyes are wet, though his hands tremble, though his heart is breaking. You nod, kiss your mother's cheek, taste her tears, feel her love, wrap that around you like armor, like comfort, like the last gift she can give you. The walk to the cliff takes forever, takes no time at all. The whole city follows, a procession of grief, of love, of helpless rage against the gods who demand such prices for such small crimes. You walk slowly, steadily, your bare feet silent on the stone path, your white dress floating behind you, like wings, like mist, like the trail of a falling star. The cliff rises ahead, black against the darkening sky, its edge sharp as a blade, its drop endless. The sea below crashes against rocks, sending up spray that tastes of salt and endings. You stop at the edge, turn back, look at your city, your people, your life, all of it. You are leaving behind. Your parents stand close, holding each other, their love a bright flame in the gathering darkness. Other faces, familiar faces, friends and neighbors, were all watching, all weeping, all helpless, to change what must be. I love you, you call to them, your voice carrying on the wind, clear and strong, unbroken by fear. I love you all. Remember me, not as a victim, but as someone who loved you in return. The words echo off the cliff face, bounce back, as if the earth itself is saying goodbye. You turn, face the empty air, the vast sky, the unknown that waits for you. The wind picks up, stirring your hair, lifting your dress, as if invisible hands are already reaching for you. You close your eyes, spread your arms, prepare to fall, or fly, or simply end. The wind is not natural. It is warm, gentle, almost tender, like a lover's touch, like a mother's caress, like something that knows you, that cares for you, that will not let you fall to your death. You open your eyes, and the wind has a voice. Do not fear. It whispers in tones like music, like silver bells, like the song of birds. At dawn, I am Zephyrus, the west wind, and I have come to carry you to safety. The voice is kind, ancient, infinitely gentle. This is not the monster you were promised. This is something else, something unexpected, something that feels like rescue. Who sent you, you ask, though your words are lost in the rushing air, in the sound of your own heartbeat, in the whisper of wind through grass and stone. One who loves you, the wind replies, one who cannot let you face this fate alone. You do not understand, but you do not need to. The wind lifts you, gently, carefully, as if you are made of glass, of flower petals, of precious things that must not be broken. Your feet leave the ground. Your white dress streams behind you. Your hair flows like water as you rise into the air, higher, higher, until your city, your people, your old life becomes small below you, like a child's toy, like a memory, like something from a dream. Should be afraid, should be screaming, should be fighting, but the wind holds you like loving arms, like a cradle, like the embrace of someone who will never let you fall. You fly over mountains, over forests, over valleys, filled with silver mist, full of places you have never seen, never imagined, never dreamed existed. Stars appear, one by one, like candles being lit in a vast cathedral. The moon rises, full and bright, casting everything in silver light, making the world look magical, enchanted, like a fairy tale, where even sad stories when have happy endings. The wind carries you for what feels like hours or minutes or lifetimes until ahead you see something impossible, a palace floating in the air, suspended between earth and sky, like a dream made real, like imagination given form, like the home of gods or heroes or lovers who exist beyond the normal world. It is beautiful, more beautiful than anything you have ever seen. White marble, gleaming like pearl, gold that catches starlight, gardens that hang in the air, like clouds, like thoughts, like wishes made manifest. Your feet touch solid ground, but everything else feels unreal, like you have stepped another life. The palace is empty or seems empty, but it does not feel abandoned. It feels waiting, expectant, as if it has been prepared for you, as if every room, every garden, every beautiful thing has been created for your pleasure, your comfort, your happiness. You walk forward, slowly, carefully, your white dress whispering against marble floors, your bare feet silent on stones that feel warm despite the night air, flames appearing without source, without reason, filling the air with golden light, with the scent of roses, of home, of welcome. Food appears on silver plates, on golden tables, fruits that taste like sunshine, bread that smells like your mother's kitchen, wine that sparkles like liquid starlight, like bottled happiness. Everything is perfect, everything is beautiful, everything is ready for you. But you are alone, completely alone, in this floating paradise, in this dream palace, in this place between worlds. You call out, your voice echoing through empty halls, through perfect rooms, through the vast silence that surrounds you. Hello? Is anyone there? Who has brought me here? What is this place? But there is no answer, only the echo of your own voice coming back to you like a question asking itself, like loneliness learning to speak. You explore room after room, each more beautiful than the last. Libraries filled with books written in languages of light and music. Bedrooms with beds soft as clouds, warm as summer mornings, inviting as dreams. Gardens where flowers bloom in moonlight, where fountains play songs, where the air itself tastes of magic, of possibility, of love, waiting to be discovered. But beautiful as it is, perfect as it is, magical as it is still a prison, a golden cage, a lovely trap for a girl who only wanted to be free. You sink onto a marble bench in a garden full of night-blooming flowers, and for the first time since leaving your city, you cry, not from fear, not from grief, but from loneliness, from the terrible beauty of this place, from the mystery of who has brought you here. When why let your tears fall if they need to, even in beautiful places, even in dreams, even in safety. But remember, you are not alone, not truly. Love is watching. Love is waiting. Love is preparing to reveal itself. Rest now in this floating paradise, in this place between worlds, where love has built you a home and waits for the right moment to show itself. Tomorrow brings answers, brings meetings, brings the beginning of something beautiful. You wake in a bed softer than clouds, warmer than summer mornings, more comfortable than any sleep you have ever known. For a moment, you forget where you are, forget the cliff, forget the wind, forget the floating palace. Suspended between earth and sky, then memory returns, gentle as dawn, but strange as dreams. You are here, in this impossible place, brought by the west wind to safety or captivity. You cannot tell which. Sunlight streams through windows that seem to be made of crystal and gold, casting rainbow patterns across marble floors, across silk curtains, across your skin. Still pale from yesterday's tears, you rise slowly, bare feet touching cool stone, and notice someone has left you clothes. Not your white wedding dress, but something simpler, softer, a gown of pale blue, like morning sky, like peaceful water, like the color of hope. The palace feels different in daylight, less mysterious, but somehow more magical, as if night showed you its mystery, and day reveals its wonder. You explore again. Rooms you saw in darkness, now bright with sunlight, filled with details you missed before, paintings that seem to move when you're not looking directly, books that whisper stories. When you walk past, flowers that turn their faces toward you like friends greeting a friend. But still, you are alone, or so you think. You are in the garden, touching roses that smell like your mother's perfume. When you hear it, a voice, gentle, musical, heartbroken. Do not be afraid. You spin around, searching, but see no one. Only flowers, only fountains, only sunlight dancing through leaves that move without wind. Who's there, you call, your voice steadier than you expected. Show yourself, please. I cannot. The voice replies, and now you can tell it comes from everywhere and nowhere, like the sound of your own heartbeat, like the whisper of your own breath. I cannot show myself, though I long to, more than anything in all the worlds. The voice is beautiful, unlike any you have heard, not quite human, but not cold, not distant, warm, familiar, as if you have been waiting all your life to hear it. Who are you? You ask, sitting on the marble bench where you cried last night. The stone is warm now, heated by sun, by something that feels like invisible presence, like someone sitting very close, but unseen. I am. The voice hesitates, trembles, like someone afraid. To tell the truth, I am the one who could not let you face that fate alone. You sent the wind. I begged the wind to carry you gently, to bring you safely to this place where no harm can find you. You feel tears, but not sad ones. Relief, gratitude, you whisper. Why save me? You don't know me. I am nothing. No one important. Just a girl whose beauty angered a goddess. The voice grows softer, closer, as if someone has moved to sit beside you, though you see nothing, feel nothing, but warmth in the air. You are not nothing, he says, and the pain in his voice makes your heart ache. You are everything, beautiful beyond words, kind beyond measure, precious beyond. He stops, as if he has said too much, revealed too much of what lives in his hidden heart. I don't understand, you say, though part of you does understand. Part of you recognizes something in his voice that calls to something in your soul. You were condemned for beauty that rivaled a goddess. But beauty is not your crime. It is your gift, your blessing, your light. In a world that needs more light, then why must I hide? Why must you hide? If beauty is blessing, why does it feel like curse? The voice sighs, a sound like wind through spring leaves, like water over smooth stones, like the breath of someone who carries a secret too heavy for one heart to hold alone. Because some love is forbidden, some desires are too dangerous, some truths would shake the very heavens if spoken aloud. You feel him, though you cannot see him. Gentle as rain, you think you might touch something, someone real. Will you stay hidden forever, you ask? If that is what keeps you safe, if that is what lets me be near you without bringing the wrath of those who would harm you, then yes, I will stay in shadows forever. The sadness in his voice breaks your heart. This mysterious savior, this gentle voice, is sacrificing his own happiness for yours. But I don't want you to be sad, you say, surprised by your own words, by how much you care already for someone you cannot see. Then tell me, what would make you happy? T asks, and his voice is closer now, so close you feel warm breath against your cheek, though nothing is there. I won't, you begin, then stop, not sure how to say what your heart is beginning to want. Tell me, he whispers, and his voice wraps around you like gentle arms, like safety, like the beginning of something that might be love. I want to know you, to understand who you are, why you saved me, why your voice makes me feel less alone than I have ever felt in all my life. And I want to know you, he replies, your thoughts, your dreams, your fears, your hopes, everything that makes you who you are, beyond the beauty that cursed and blessed you. You sit together in the garden, he invisible. You bathed in sunlight, talking like old friends, like new lovers, like two souls who have been searching for each other across lifetimes. He tells you about the palace, how every room was made for your comfort, how every flower was planted for your joy, how every beautiful thing was chosen with your happiness in mind, your family, your loneliness, how beauty became prison, how worship felt like walls closing in until you could barely breathe. Here, he says softly, you can breathe, you can be simply yourself. No goddess to anger, no worshippers to please, just you and me, and this space between worlds where love can grow in secret as evening comes, as shadows lengthen, as the first stars appear. You realize something beautiful and terrifying. You are falling in love with a voice, with a presence, with someone you have never seen, may never see, but who knows you better than anyone ever has. Will you stay? He asks as night settles. Over the floating palace, over the garden, over the two of you, together and apart, with you, and in the darkness, you feel it. The brush of invisible fingers against your hand, warm, real, loving. Tomorrow brings deeper mysteries. But tonight, you are not alone. Tonight, love has found you in the shadows and called you by name. Rest now in this place between worlds, where hearts can meet without eyes, where love can grow in darkness, where tomorrow holds new wonders. Days pass like music, like poetry, like the slow dance of falling stars. You learn the rhythm of loving someone you cannot see. Morning conversations in the garden, afternoon walks, through halls where footsteps echo beside yours. Evening whispers by fountains that play songs. Only he seems to know. He is always there. This invisible beloved, this voice that has become more real to you than your own reflection, more necessary than breath, more precious than sight itself. Learn his moods, the way his voice grows soft with tenderness, sharp with worry, the pauses that mean he is smiling, the sighs that mean he wishes. Things were different, tell me, you say. One morning, lying in grass so soft, it feels like silk, like dreams, smoothing the earth beneath your body. Tell me about the world, beyond this palace, about your life, before you saved me. His silence lasts, longer than usual. When he speaks, his voice carries weight like stones, like secrets, like truths, too heavy for easy telling. My life, he begins, then stops, starts again. My life was duty, obligation, doing what others expected, needed, demanded, without thought or what I might want for myself. And what do you want, you ask, turning your face toward where you imagine he sits, though you see only blue sky, white clouds, the endless beauty of this floating world. I want. His voice drops to a whisper. I want what I have never been allowed. What to want, not demanded, not part of some larger plan, but simple, pure, true. You feel tears, not of sadness, but of recognition. Yes, you breathe. I understand. I was worshipped, but never. But I choose you, he says, and his voice is warm against your ear. Though nothing but sunlight and the whisper of wind, I choose you for your kindness, your courage, your spirit, the way you speak to flowers as if they were friends, the way you cry for lonely things, the way you love without reservation, without fear. And I choose you. You reply, surprised by the truth of your own words, for your gentleness, your sacrifice, the way you saved me without asking for anything in return, the way you make me feel safe and free at the same time. That night, everything changes. You are in your room, the beautiful chamber with walls of pearl and floors of starlight, closer than it has ever been. May I, he begins, at the edge of a cliff, deciding whether to fly or fall. May I stay with you tonight, not to see, but to be near, to share the darkness where we are, more equal where the invisible and the visible meet, but not with fear, with anticipation, with longing, with the sweet terror of stepping into something new, something that might change everything. Yes, you whisper, yes, please, stay. You lie in your bed, covers pulled to your chin, listening to the sound of someone moving carefully, light as air, gentle as thought, has settled beside you, close enough to share warmth, far enough to preserve the mystery that keeps you both safe. I have never, he begins, his voice so close now. You feel breath against your hair, warm, real, undeniably present. I have never wanted anything as much as I want to hold you, but I cannot. Then don't explain, you say, rolling toward where you sense him, reaching into darkness with trembling fingers and miracle, wonder, impossible gift. For it is skin, is smooth like marble, but warm like life, like flesh, like the most beautiful sculpture ever carved, brought to life by love, by magic, by desire that burns. In the darkness, he gasps, as if your touch is fire, is lightning, is the first rain. After drought, his hand, larger than yours, stronger, but infinitely gentle. His chest, where something beats fast and strong and alive. I should not, he whispers, but does not pull away. Neither should I, you reply, but your other hand rises, finds the curve of his face, carved by divine hands, by someone who understands what beauty truly means. You map his face with fingertips that tremble with wonder, strong jaw, soft lips, that part under your my touch, eyes that close. you can feel the lashes against your palm. They could only belong to a god or a dream or someone who exists between both worlds. You are beautiful, you breathe and feel him shiver, like someone who has waited lifetimes to hear those words be spoken with simple, honest love. As are you, he replies, and his hands, both hands now, frame your face, hold you, like something precious, like something that might disappear if not held carefully, lovingly, completely. He kisses you, then, in the darkness, where such things are possible, where the invisible becomes touchable, where love finds a way. Despite impossible circumstances, his lips are warm, soft, tasting of starlight, of honey, of tears, both joyful and sad. The kiss of someone who knows this moment is stolen, precious, dangerous, perfect. You kiss him back, pouring into it all your loneliness, all your gratitude, all your growing love for this mysterious savior who speaks in shadows, loves in darkness, and makes you feel more beautiful, more cherished, more truly seen than you have ever felt. In the harsh light of day, you fall asleep in his arms, invisible arms that hold you, real as anchor, warm as home, safe as love, that asks nothing but gives everything in dreams. You see him, not his face, but his essence, light wrapped by the simple wish. One mortal girl who loves him, not for what he is, but for who he chooses, to be in the darkness. With her dot tomorrow will bring questions, will bring doubt, will bring the light that might destroy this perfect, impossible love. But tonight, in darkness, you are his and he is yours, and that is enough, more than enough. It is everything. Rest now in the arms of love, in the safety of shadows, in the perfect peace of hearts that have found their home in it. Morning comes too soon, too bright, too full of questions that the darkness kept at bay. You wake alone, as always, but the pillow beside yours still holds the faint impression with shared dreams, with the lingering presence of love that lives in shadows. Still remember the feel of his face, the smooth skin, the strong features, the trembling lips that spoke your name, like prayer, like music, like the most sacred word ever whispered in darkness, but now with sunlight streaming through crystal. Windows, doubts creep in like morning mist, like cold fingers around your heart. Who is he? Really, why the mystery, the hiding, the careful distance that even love cannot fully cross? You find him, or he finds you, in the library, where books written in languages that changes the very fabric of the world. Good morning, his voice, soft as always, but strained, as if he too has spent the morning hours wrestling with questions that have no easy answers. Good morning, you reply, but do not move. A ward where you sense him standing in the space between shelves, between worlds, between truth and necessary deception. The silence stretches, filled with weight, with the memory of last night's intimacy, with the growing need to understand what you have stepped into, who you have begun to love. You have questions, he says, and it is not a question, but a statement, heavy with dread, with the knowledge that this moment was always coming, always waiting, like storm clouds on the horizon of their impossible love. Yes, everything clear to clear, highlighting the strangeness of loving someone you have never truly seen. I need to know who you are, what you are, why you save me, only to hide from me, why you touch me in darkness but vanish with the dawn. His silence is answer enough, fear radiating from the empty air. Fear so strong you can taste it, bitter as medicine, sharp as tears, real as the love that grows, despite all impossibilities. Please. His voice breaks, cracks like glass, like hearts under pressure. Please do not ask what I cannot safely tell you, but I need to know. You turn from the window, face the empty room that holds him, somewhere invisible, beloved, mysterious. How can I love someone I don't truly know? How can I trust what I cannot see? How can I build a life, a future on shadows and whispers and touch that comes only in darkness? You cannot, he admits, and the pain in his voice cuts through you like blade, like truth, like the sharp edge of reality. You cannot, and that is the tragedy, the impossibility, the cruel joke that the fates have played on both of us. Then tell me, you plead, stepping forward into the space where you feel him staying hidden, the way I have trusted you with my heart, my hope, my love. I cannot, he whispers, and you hear footsteps between desire and duty, between love and law, between what is wanted and what is safe. If I show myself, if I reveal what I truly am, everything changes. Everything becomes dangerous for you, for me, for this perfect world in secret. But secrets, you say softly, secrets are walls between hearts, barriers that keep love from growing, from becoming what it could be, what it wants to be. He stops, pacing, the silence so complete, you wonder if he has vanished entirely, left you alone with your questions and your growing need for truth. Then his voice, closer than ever, as if he has moved to stand directly before you, as if only the thinnest veil separates you from seeing everything. If you saw me, he says, voice thick with emotion, with fear, with longing, you would understand why I hide, why I must stay in shadows, why this love, beautiful as it is also. You breathe, reaching out, finding his hands in the space between you, holding them, feeling them shake with the weight of secrets. Too heavy for one heart to carry alone. I am not. He begins, then stops, starts again, voice breaking, with the effort of almost telling truth. I am not what you think, not what you imagine, not someone that would shake the very heavens. I don't care. You say and mean it, surprising yourself with the strength of your conviction. I don't care what you are, who you are, where you come from. I only care that you love me, and I have ever felt pulling his hands from yours, stepping back into deeper shadows, into safer distance. You should care, because when you learn the truth, when you see what I really am, everything will change, and not necessarily for the better. Promise me, he says suddenly, voice urgent, desperate, like someone running out of time, out of options, out of ways to protect what they love most. Promise me you will not seek to see me, will not bring light into our darkness, will not try to solve the mystery of who I am. Promise me you will let love be enough, let trust replace the need for sight, let faith be stronger than curiosity. The weight of what he asks settles on you, heavy as stone, heavy as love, heavy as the choice between knowing and keeping, between truth and safety, between the light that reveals everything and the darkness that protects what is precious and fragile and impossibly beautiful. You begin, then stop, heart torn between love and need, between trust and understanding, between the man you love and the mystery he refuses. Promise me, he pleads again, and you hear in his voice not just fear, but love, deeper than oceans, stronger than stone, more desperate than prayer. And because you love him, because you trust him, because the happiness you have found in darkness is worth protecting, you make a promise that will test the very limits of your heart. Your faith, your love, tomorrow, brings new challenges to that promise. But tonight, love asks for trust, and you, loving, give it freely. Weeks pass in perfect contentment, in the rhythm of days filled with invisible companionship, nights blessed with gentle touch, mornings sweet with whispered conversation that flows like music, like water, like the natural breath of two souls learning to be one. You keep your promise. Do not seek to see him. Do not bring candles or torches or any light that might reveal what he believes must remain hidden in darkness. You have found a love than any you ever imagined possible. But promises, however sincere, however loving, are tested by the world, beyond paradise, by voices that whisper doubt, by those who cannot bear to see happiness they do not understand. You are in the garden, fingers trailing through fountain water that sparkles like liquid diamonds. When the wind brings something unexpected, voices, familiar voices, calling your name with grief, with longing, with the kind of love that breaks hearts, even when it means to heal them. Sister, beloved, sister, where are you? Your heart stops, then races like a bird trapped in a cage, suddenly remembering the sky it left behind. These voices, you know them better than your own, have loved them longer than memory, longer than breath. Sisters, your family, somehow impossibly here, at this floating palace between worlds, calling for you with voices full of tears, full of love, full of fear for what they believe has happened to their precious youngest sister. I must go to them, you say, to the empty air that holds him somewhere, invisible, listening with what you know must be growing dread. Please, his voice, tight with fear, with something that might be desperation. Please, think carefully before you let them into this place, into our sanctuary, into the peace we have built together. They are my sisters. Ward the terrace, where you sense the voices are coming from. My family. They must think I am dead. They must be grieving, mourning, believing they will never see me again. I cannot let them suffer when I can ease their pain. Some pain, he says quietly, is easier to bear than the truth that follows. Fully hear him. Do not understand the warning hidden in his words. Love for your family, gratitude for their searching, their caring, pulls you toward reunion, toward the comfort of familiar faces, familiar voices, familiar love that asks no questions, demands no promises, hides nothing. In shadows you find them on the great terrace where the west wind first delivered you to safety. 3 figures in traveling clothes, dusty from roads, weary from searching, beautiful in the way that only family where it can be beautiful. 2 eyes that have missed them desperately. They turn at the sound of your footsteps, and their faces transform from grief to shock to joy, so pure, so complete. It takes your breath like physical blow, like the sudden return of sunlight after long darkness. You're alive. Your eldest sister breathes, then runs, catches you in arms that smell like home, like childhood, like the world you left behind to face a monster that never came. We thought, we feared. Your middle sister joins the embrace, her tears warm against your cheek, her voice broken with relief, with questions that tumble over each other like water over stones. The prophecy, the monster, the sacrifice. We came to find your bones, to bring you home for proper burial. But you're here, you're safe, you're she. Stops, looks around at the impossible palace, the floating gardens, the beauty that defies explanation. What is this place? You try to explain, but how do you those you love that you have found? A love they cannot see, cannot understand, cannot touch, except through faith, through trust, through the kind of believing that the world teaches us to abandon as we grow older, wiser, more afraid. I was saved, you begin, brought here by someone who cares for me, someone who keeps me safe, someone who, where is he? Your eldest sister interrupts, eyes sharp, with the protective instinct of someone who has watched over younger siblings, too long to accept easy answers to impossible questions. This someone who claims to care for you, where is he? Why does he not show himself? Welcome your family at such a place, such power, such convenience in your hour of need. You feel him somewhere, listening, feel his tension like electricity in the air, like the moment before lightning strikes, before thunder shakes the world, before everything changes. Irrevocably he is. You hesitate. He is private, shy, not accustomed to visitors, to questions, to scrutiny. Your middle sister finishes, and her voice carries suspicion that cuts through you like blade, like truth. You are not ready to face, sister, beloved sister. You have always been too trusting, too willing to see good in those who might wish you harm. From everything and everyone you have ever known, it is not salvation. It is. She looks around at the beautiful palace, the perfect gardens, the golden walls that suddenly seem less like paradise and more like it is a cage, a beautiful cage, but a cage nonetheless. No, you protest, but even as you speak, doubt creeps in like morning mist, like cold fingers around your heart. He saved me, he loves me, he would never. How do you know? Your eldest sister asks gently but firmly, the way she used to when you were children, and she was protecting you from bullies, from heartbreak, from the cruelty of a world that did not. How do you know what he would or would not do when you have never seen his face, never looked into his eyes, never seen the truth that faces always, eventually reveal? The words hit you like physical blows, because in them you hear your own doubts, your own questions, your own growing need to understand what you have accepted on faith alone. What if, your middle sister continues, voice soft but relentless like water wearing away, was true? What if you were meant to marry a monster, and secrets and promises you cannot safely break? What if he is exactly the words hang in the air like poison, like truth, like the kind of possibility that once considered cannot be unconsidered, cannot be forgotten, cannot be ignored? You feel invisible eyes watching, feel the weight of his presence somewhere, listening to these doubts of your love, taking root, growing stronger with each whispered suspicion. You must find out. Your eldest sister says, taking your hands, holding them with the fierce love of someone who would die before letting harm come to those she protects. You must see him, truly see him. Know what you have given your heart to. Know whether this love is real or just another form of captivity. Nonetheless, but I promised, you whisper, and even saying it, the promise feels different now, less like love and more like trap, less like trust and more like the kind of vow that someone with something to hide might exact from someone. To loving, to refuse promises, your middle sister says sadly, should protect love, not endanger it, should bring clarity, not confusion, should build trust, not replace the need. For it they stay. 3 days, 3 nights of growing doubt, of whispered conversations, of questions that multiply like seeds in fertile ground, of suspicion more carefully, as if he knows, as if he feels the poison taking root in your heart, in your mind, in the perfect love you thought could survive anything, when your sisters finally leave with promises to return, with plans to rescue you. If rescue becomes necessary, you are left with questions that echo in the beautiful, empty halls of your floating prison, paradise, palace, cage, 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 cage. Who is he, really? What is he hiding? And why does love, that should make everything clear, leave you more confused than ever about what is real and what is simply beautiful illusion? Tomorrow, those questions will demand answers, but tonight, doubt has taken root, and even paradise cannot protect love from the poison of mistrust. Rest now, if you can, in the beautiful uncertainty of love that might be salvation or captivity, of trust that might be wisdom or foolishness. The truth waits in darkness, but darkness no longer feels safe. The days that follow your sister's visit stretch like shadows at sunset, long and dark and filled with shapes that might be monsters or might be nothing more than the fears your mind creates. When love is no longer enough to quiet doubt, you try to return to the rhythm you once knew, the gentle pattern of invisible companionship that felt like home, like safety, like the only truth you needed. But now, every conversation carries the weight of questions unasked. Every touch in darkness feels like a secret being kept from you. Every whispered endearment sounds like it might be hiding something you need to know. He senses the change. Of course, how could he not? Love that was once open as sunlight has become guarded as a fortress, and even the most patient heart eventually feels the chill of walls being built where once there were only open doors. You are quiet today, he says one morning, as you sit in the garden where roses bloom in impossible colors, where fountains sing songs in languages that sound like poetry, like promises, like the kind of beauty that makes you forget to ask why such beauty exists at all. I am thinking, you reply, and even to your own ears your voice sounds different, careful, measured, the voice of someone who has learned to weigh words before speaking them, to consider what might be revealed in the spaces between syllables. About what? He asks, though you suspect he already knows. His voice carries the strain of someone walking on glass, trying not to make any sudden movements that might shatter the delicate peace they have both been pretending still exists. About trust, you say simply, and feel the air around you grow heavy with the weight of that single word. About how much we can love someone we do not truly know. About whether faith is enough when the heart keeps asking questions that have no answers. The silence that follows feels like a held breath, like the moment before a storm breaks, like the pause between the lightning and the thunder that follows. You can feel him there, invisible but present, wrestling with words he wants to say, but cannot, or will not, or dare not speak aloud. I have given you everything I can, he says finally, and his voice is soft with pain, with the kind of hurt that comes from loving someone who no longer trusts that love is enough. My heart, my devotion, my protection, my presence. What more can I offer that does not require me to break the very promises that keep us both safe? I do not know, you admit, and the honesty of it cuts through you like a blade. That is the problem. I do not know what I need, what I want, what would make this doubt stop growing like weeds in the garden of my heart. I only know that love without understanding feels like a beautiful prison, and I am tired of being a prisoner, even to something as lovely as this. You gesture around you, at the palace that has been your haven and your cage, at the gardens that bloom with impossible beauty, at the life that has been given to you like a gift you never asked for and are not sure you want to keep. This place, this love, this life we have built together in shadows and whispers and promises I do not fully understand. It is beautiful, yes. It is safe, yes. But is it real? Is it true? Or is it just another kind of worship, another kind of cage, another way of keeping me from knowing who I really am and what I really want? The questions hang in the air between. You like accusations, like the kind of truth that once spoken cannot be taken back, cannot be forgotten, cannot be forgiven easily by hearts that have been wounded by the very love they thought would heal them. What would you have me do? He asks, like someone drowning who sees the shore but cannot reach it, cannot save himself, cannot find the strength to keep fighting against the current that pulls him down. Show yourself to me, you say, and the words come out stronger than you expected, clearer than you thought they would be. Let me see you, know you, understand what I have given my heart to. Let me choose you with my eyes open, with full knowledge of what that choice means. I cannot, he says, as you knew he would, as he has said so many times before. But now the words sound different to your ears, not like protection, but like refusal, not like love, but like control, not like safety, but like the kind of power that keeps one person always in shadow while the other walks in light. What cannot, you ask, standing from the marble bench where you have been sitting, moving toward where you sense he stands, your steps slow and deliberate as a dancer's, as a hunter's, as someone who has decided that enough is enough and the time for gentle acceptance has passed, or cannot, or will not, cannot because it is truly impossible, truly dangerous, truly harmful to both of us, or will not because it is easier to love someone who cannot see you clearly, cannot judge you fairly, cannot decide for herself whether what you offer is worth what you ask in return. You do not understand, he says, but his voice has changed, has moved, as if he is backing away from you, as if your approach threatens something he has been carefully protecting. You do not know what you are asking, what it would mean, what it would cost both of us if you saw me as I truly am. Then tell me, you say, reaching out into the empty air, your fingers finding nothing but space where you long to find answers, where you need to find truth, where you hope to find the face of the man you love more than your own life, but are beginning to fear you do not know at all. Tell me what it would cost. Tell me what I would see. Tell me why my seeing you would be so terrible that you would rather keep me in darkness forever than risk the light of truth between us. But he does not answer, and you realize, with a chill that runs through you like winter wind, that he has gone, has left you alone with your questions and your doubts and your growing certainty, that love built on secrets is not love at all, but something else entirely, something that might be beautiful, but is also in its own way. You stand in the garden where roses bloom in impossible colors, where fountains sing songs in languages that sound like promises. And for the first time since the west wind carried you to this place, you feel truly alone, not just physically, but emotionally, spiritually, in the deepest places of your heart, where love once lived, but doubt has now taken root and begun to grow. Tomorrow will bring new challenges to the faith you once held so easily, new tests of the trust you once gave so freely. But tonight, in the silence he has left behind, you must decide whether the love you have built in darkness is worth the price of never knowing who you truly love, or whether some truths are worth the risk of losing everything to discover. The choice grows heavier with each passing hour, each moment of silence, each beat of your heart that says you deserve more than beautiful mysteries and perfect prisons, and love that asks you to trust without understanding why. Rest now, if you can, in the growing uncertainty of a love that might be salvation or might be just another kind of captivity dressed in gentler clothes. Tomorrow will demand decisions that will change everything, but tonight, doubt has planted its seeds in the fertile ground of a heart that has begun to question whether faith without sight is wisdom or foolishness. The garden grows quiet around you, but your mind grows loud with questions that will not be silenced by beauty alone. The days stretch into weeks, and the weeks feel like years, and the years feel like lifetimes spent in the space between loving and knowing, between faith and sight, between the heart that says trust and the mind that whispers doubt with every breath you take. Like home, like everything you had ever wanted without knowing you wanted it. But doubt, once planted, grows like wildfire, like weeds, like the kind of truth that will not be ignored, no matter how much you wish it would stay buried in the dark corners of your heart. He still comes to you in darkness, still speaks to you in the voice that once soothed every fear, still touches you with hands that feel like benediction, like blessing, like the gentle caress of someone who loves you more than life itself. But now you lie awake beside him, listening to his breathing, feeling the warmth of his invisible presence, and wondering who he really is beneath the mystery, beneath the refusal to be seen, beneath the careful distance he maintains even in the closest moments of intimacy. "Are you awake?" he asks one night, his voice soft in the darkness, and you realize you have been holding your breath, have been lying so still that he cannot tell whether you sleep or simply pretend to sleep too. Avoid the conversations that have become too heavy for both of you to bear, but toward the warmth and presence that might be the man you love or might be the monster your sisters warned you about, and you hate that you no longer know which is true. "I can feel your doubt," he says, and his voice is sad, so sad that it breaks your heart even as it confirms your fears. "I can feel it growing between us, like a wall, like a chasm, like something that will eventually swallow all the love we have built together in this place. Then show yourself to me, clearer than you thought they would be. End the doubt, end the questions, end the terrible wondering that is eating away at everything beautiful we have shared." "I cannot," he says, as you knew he would, as he has said so many times before. But this time, you do not accept the words. Do not let them settle into the space between you like stones, like barriers, like the kind of refusal that ends conversations before they truly begin. "Why?" you ask, sitting up in the darkness, your voice rising with the frustration that has been building for weeks, for months, for however long it has been since your sisters planted their seeds of suspicion in the fertile ground of your increasingly uncertain heart. "Why can you not show yourself to me? What could be so terrible about your appearance that you would rather lose my love than risk my seeing you as you truly are?" "You would not understand," he says, and you can hear him moving, can feel him pulling away from you, even though he remains in the same bed, the same room, the same floating palace that has become both haven and prison for you both. "Try me," you say, and your voice is steel now, is iron, is the voice of someone who has spent too long accepting known answers and is ready to demand the truth no matter what it costs. Try me, and see if I am as weak, as shallow, as incapable of understanding as you seem to believe. The silence that follows is so complete, so absolute, that for a moment you wonder if he has vanished entirely, if he has left you alone with your demands and your doubts and your growing certainty that love without truth is not love at all, but something else, something that might be beautiful, but is also, in its own way, a lie. Then you hear it, so soft. You almost miss it, the sound of someone crying, someone whose heart is breaking, someone who loves you so much that your pain has become his pain, your doubt has become his despair, your need for truth has become his worst nightmare. Come to, like, I am not what you think, he whispers, and his voice is broken, is shattered, is the voice of someone who has been holding on to hope for so long that he has forgotten what it feels like to live without it. I am not what you hope. I am not what you deserve. I am something else entirely, something that you will not be able to love once you see me clearly, once you know what I truly am. Let me decide that, you say, and your voice is gentle now, is soft, is the voice of someone who loves deeply enough to take risks, to face truths, to choose with eyes open rather than heart closed. Let me choose you knowing who you are, rather than loving you without understanding what that love means. But he does not answer, and after a while you realize he has gone, has left you alone in the darkness with your questions and your needs and your growing certainty that the only way forward is through the truth. No matter how painful that truth might be, you lie awake for hours, listening to the silence, feeling the empty space beside you, where warmth used to be, where love used to live without question, where faith used to be enough to sustain you through any darkness. But faith without sight has become a burden too heavy for your heart to carry, and you know that something must change, or everything will break, will crumble, will fall apart like a beautiful dream that cannot survive the harsh light of day. The decision, when it comes, feels inevitable, feels like something you have been moving toward since the moment your sisters first whispered their doubts, since the first time you asked a question that received no answer, since the first moment you realized that love without understanding is not love at all, but something else, something that might be beautiful, but is also, in its own way, a kind of captivity. So many whispered conversations, so many moments of connection that felt like coming home to yourself. You move through the palace like a ghost, like someone walking in a dream, like someone who has made a choice that will change everything and cannot be undone. In the kitchen, you find what you need, a small lamp, the kind that burns oil and gives steady light, the kind that can illuminate truth or destroy it depending on what that truth turns out to be. Your hands shake as you light it, as you watch the flame catch and grow steady, as you realize that this small fire might be the end of everything you have built with him, or the beginning of something deeper, something truer, something that can survive the light of day. You carry the lamp back to your room, back to the bed where he waits for you in darkness, where he lies believing that you have accepted his refusal, his insistence on mystery, his need to remain hidden from the one person who loves him most. I am sorry, you whisper to the darkness, to the man you love, to the choice you are about to make that will hurt both of you, but might also, if you are lucky, if you are brave, if you are strong enough to face whatever truth awaits you, set you both free. You lift the lamp, and the light spreads across the room like sunrise, like revelation, like the moment when everything hidden becomes visible, and love must decide whether it can survive the truth it has been avoiding. And there, in the golden circle of lamplight, the body you have held without seeing, the man you have loved without knowing, you see wings that catch the light, like spun gold, like captured starlight, like the most beautiful thing you have ever witnessed. You see features so perfect they could only belong to a god, to a divine being, to someone who exists beyond the ordinary world of mortal love and mortal understanding. You see Eros, the god of love himself, more beautiful than any dream, any hope, any fantasy you could have imagined. And in that moment of seeing, of knowing, of understanding finally who you have been loving all this time, you also see the truth of why he hid, why he feared, why he could not trust you with the knowledge of his divinity. Because you are mortal, and he is God, is the kind of transgression that shakes the very foundations of the world. The lamp trembles in your hand, and a single drop of hot oil falls from it, falls like a tear, like a regret, like the physical manifestation of the mistake you have just made in choosing sight over faith, knowledge over trust, truth over the beautiful mystery that kept you both safe. The oil touches his shoulder, burns his perfect skin, and he wakes with a cry of pain that is also a cry of heartbreak, of betrayal, of the kind of anguish that comes from having your worst fears confirmed in the most painful way possible. His eyes open, meet yours, and in them you see not anger, but sorrow, not rage, but the kind of grief that comes from losing something precious, something irreplaceable, something that can never be recovered once it has been broken. Now you know, he says, his voice soft with pain, with resignation, with the terrible finality of someone who has always known this moment would come, but hoped against hope that it would not. Now you see what I am, what we are, what this love has always been, impossible, forbidden, doomed from the moment it began. He rises from the bed, his wings spreading wide, catching the lamplight like captured stars, like bottled sunlight, like the most beautiful and terrible thing you have ever seen. He looks at you with eyes that hold all the love in the world, and all the sadness of knowing that love is not enough, has never been enough, will never be enough to bridge the gap between mortal and divine. The silence that follows his departure is not the gentle quiet of night, not the peaceful hush of sleep, not the comfortable stillness of two hearts resting together in perfect understanding. This silence is different, is wrong, is the kind of emptiness that screams louder than any sound, that fills the space where love used to live with something cold and sharp and infinitely cruel. You stand in the fading light of the lamp, watching the oil burn lower, watching the flame grow smaller, watching the last remnants of the light that revealed everything and destroyed everything flicker like a dying star, like a heart that has been wounded beyond healing, like hope that has been crushed beneath the weight of too much truth. The palace around you is dissolving, is disappearing, is fading like a dream upon waking, like a memory that grows dimmer with each passing moment, like the kind of magic that can only exist when love believes in impossibilities, when faith is stronger than sight, when the heart chooses trust over understanding that the walls of pearl and gold become mist, become shadow, become nothing at all. The floors of starlight and marble crumble beneath your feet, leaving you standing on bare earth, on rocky ground, are exposed to the light, their beauty turning to dust, their songs becoming silence, their life becoming the kind of death that comes not from age or disease, but from the simple absence of the love that kept them alive, that made them possible, that gave them meaning in a world that does not usually allow such wonders to exist. You try to follow him, try to call his name, try to reach through the empty air where he stood just moments ago, where he spoke your name with such sorrow, where he looked at you with eyes that held all the love in the world and all the grief of knowing that love was not enough to save what you had built together. Come back, you whisper to the empty air, to the fading magic, to the silence that has swallowed everything you thought was real. Everything you believed was permanent, everything you assumed would last forever. If only you could see it clearly, understand it fully, know it completely. Please come back. I am sorry, I did not mean to hurt you. I did not know that seeing you would mean losing you. I did not understand that truth could be more painful than mystery, that knowledge could be more destructive than faith, that love could die from too much light as easily as it dies from too much darkness. But there is no answer, no response, no sign that he can hear you or would return to you, even if he could. The magic that brought him to you is broken, is shattered, is destroyed by the same hand that lit the lamp, the same heart that chose sight over trust, the same love that killed itself in the pursuit of understanding. The wind that once carried your voice to him, that once brought his voice to you, now carries only the sound of your own weeping, your own regret, your own understanding of what it means to lose everything in the pursuit of knowledge that should have remained hidden in the darkness where love can exist without question. You sink to your knees on the hard ground, on the rocky earth that has replaced the marble floors where you once walked in beauty, where you once danced in joy, where you once lived in the kind of happiness that comes from loving without reservation, from trusting without doubt, from accepting mystery as a gift rather than a burden to be solved. The lamp burns out, its oil exhausted, its light extinguished, its purpose fulfilled in the most terrible way possible. You are left in darkness, but not the gentle darkness you once shared with him, not the comfortable shadows where love could flourish without scrutiny, not the peaceful night where hearts could meet without the harsh judgment of day. This darkness is different, is empty, is the kind of black that comes not from the absence of light, but from the absence of love, from the absence of hope, from the absence of everything that once made life worth living, worth experiencing, worth believing in, despite all evidence that the world is cruel and love is fragile, and some things are too. Echo of what you once had, what you once were, to be made of nothing but love and magic and the kind of wonder that makes mortals believe they can touch the divine. The night grows cold around you, grows harsh, grows real in the way that nights are real when they are not softened by the presence of love, when they are not warmed by the touch of someone who cares more for your happiness than for his own safety, when they are not filled with the voice of someone who chose to risk everything for the chance to hold you, to know you, to love you, despite all the laws of gods and mortals that said such love should not exist. Dawn comes, as dawn always comes, indifferent to human sorrow, unmoved by human regret, unchanged by the knowledge that somewhere in the growing light a heart is breaking, a love is dying, a girl is learning what it means to lose everything in the pursuit of truth that should have remained hidden. The sun rises on a world that looks exactly as it did before you knew him, before you loved him, before you learned that gods could fall in love with mortals, and mortals could destroy that love with a single flame, a single choice, a single moment of choosing sight over faith. But you are not the same. You are changed, are broken, are empty in ways that will never be filled again. You are someone who has touched the divine and lost it, who has known perfect love and destroyed it, who has learned that some truths are too dangerous to know, some mysteries too precious to solve, some loves too fragile to survive the light of understanding. You stand in the growing daylight, in the harsh reality of a world without magic, without floating palaces, without invisible lovers who speak in voices like music and touch with hands like benediction. You stand alone, completely alone, with nothing but the memory of what you had and the knowledge of what you have lost. The lamp lies broken at your feet, its purpose fulfilled, its destruction complete. You pick up the pieces, hold them in your hands like fragments of your own heart. But you have also learned that some beauties are too bright to look upon, some truths too sharp to hold, some loves too divine to survive the touch of mortal understanding. The God of love himself chose you, saved you, cherished you, gave you everything he had to give, and you, in your need to know, in your hunger for truth, in your inability to trust what you could not see, destroyed it all with a single flame. Now you must learn to live with that knowledge, to carry that regret, to exist in a world that has been emptied of magic, of wonder, of the kind of love that makes mortals believe they can touch the stars. The sun climbs higher, and the world grows brighter. And somewhere in that brightness you must find the strength to take the first step toward whatever comes next, toward whatever life awaits you in a world where love has shown you its face and then disappeared forever, leaving you with nothing but the echo of what was and the terrible certainty of what will never be again. The wilderness stretches before you like an ocean of emptiness, like a desert of regret, like the physical manifestation of the void that is opened in your chest where your heart used to live, like flowers in an impossible garden that no longer exists. You walk without direction, without purpose, without the kind of destination that makes walking meaningful, that makes movement more than just the mechanical act of putting one foot in front of the other until exhaustion forces you to stop, to rest, to remember again that you are alone in a world that has been emptied of everything that once made it beautiful. The sun beats down on you with the same indifferent heat it gave before you knew him, before you loved him, before you learned what it meant to hold divine love in mortal hands and watch it slip away like water, like smoke, like the kind of dream that feels real until the moment you wake and realize it was never real at all. Your feet bleed from walking on stones that feel sharper than they should, on paths that seem designed to hurt, on ground that offers no comfort to someone who has fallen from floating palaces to rocky earth, from divine love to mortal solitude, from the kind of happiness that feels like flying to the kind of sorrow that feels like drowning. You call his name until your voice breaks, until the sound becomes nothing more than a whisper, until even that whisper fades into the silence that has become your only companion, your only answer, your only response to the questions that pour from your heart like blood from a wound that will not heal. Eros, you cry to the empty sky, to the distant mountains, to the vast wilderness that swallows your voice and gives nothing back but the echo of your own desperation. Eros, please, I am sorry. Please, come back. Please, forgive me. Please, give me another chance to love you the way you deserved to be loved. But the sky remains empty, the mountains remain silent, and the wilderness continues to stretch before you like a punishment, like a test, like the kind of trial that strips away everything you thought you knew about yourself and leaves you with nothing but the raw truth of what you have done, what you have lost, what you will never have again. Days pass, or maybe weeks, or maybe lifetimes compressed into moments of such intense sorrow that time loses all meaning, all structure, all purpose, beyond marking the endless repetition of waking and sleeping and waking again to the same emptiness, the same regret, the same knowledge that you have destroyed the most beautiful thing that ever existed in your life. You eat when you remember to eat, When hunger becomes so sharp, it cuts through the fog of grief that surrounds you like a cloud, like a blanket, like the kind of protection that shields you from feeling anything too deeply, while also preventing you from feeling anything at all. You sleep when exhaustion forces you to sleep, when your body can no longer carry the weight of sorrow, when consciousness becomes too heavy a burden for your broken heart to bear. But sleep brings no peace, no rest, no escape from the dreams that show you what you had, what you lost, what you destroyed with your own hands, your own choices, your own inability to trust what you could not see. In dreams, he returns to you, speaks to you in the voice that once soothed every fear, touches you with hands that feel like benediction, like blessing, like the gentle caress of someone who loves you more than life itself. In dreams, you are back in the floating palace, back in the garden where roses bloomed in impossible colors, back in the bed where you learned what it meant to love without seeing. You always wake, always return to the harsh reality of rocky ground and empty sky, and the silence that has become your only companion. You wake with tears on your cheeks, with the taste of regret on your tongue, with the knowledge that even your dreams have become another form of torture, another way for your heart to remind you of what you have lost. You try to pray, to call upon the gods who might have mercy on a mortal who has made such a terrible mistake, who has learned such a costly lesson, who has paid such a heavy price for the simple human need to see, to know, to understand what should have remained hidden in the darkness where love can exist without question. But the gods are silent, are distant, are unmoved by mortal suffering that springs from mortal choices, from mortal weakness, from the kind of flaw that makes humans reach for lights that should not be lit, truths that should not be known, mysteries that should remain mysteries, for the safety of all involved. In the growing clarity that comes from having nothing left to lose, that you are not the first to make this mistake, not the first to destroy love in the pursuit of understanding, not the first to learn that some truths are too dangerous to know, some beauties too bright to look upon, some loves too divine to survive the touch of mortal curiosity. The story is older than you, older than your love, older than the floating palace and the impossible garden and the god who risked everything to save you from a fate that now seems gentle compared to the fate you have created for yourself. It is the story of every mortal who has reached too high, loved too much, dared to believe that the gap between human and divine could be bridged by anything as simple as faith, as trust, as the willingness to love without reservation. You understand now why he begged you not to seek his face, why he pleaded with you to let love be enough, why he made you promise to trust what you could not see. He knew, as gods know, as immortals understand, as those who have watched this story play out again and again across the centuries know, that some loves are too fragile to survive the light of day, too precious to endure the harsh scrutiny of mortal sight, too perfect to exist in a world that demands proof of everything, understanding of all things, sight of what should remain hidden. But knowledge, even this terrible knowledge, does not ease the pain, does not heal the wound, does not fill the emptiness that has become your constant companion. If anything, understanding makes the loss worse, makes the regret sharper, makes the sorrow deeper, because now you know not just what you have lost, but why you lost it. Not just what you destroyed, but how you could have prevented the destruction. You continue walking, continue calling his name, continue hoping against hope that somewhere in the vast wilderness of your new reality, love might find a way to forgive, to return, to give you another chance to choose trust over sight, faith over understanding, mystery over the kind of truth that kills what it reveals. But hope, like love, is fragile, and with each step, each by day, each moment of silence where his voice used to be, it grows smaller, weaker, more distant, until it becomes nothing more than a whisper, a memory, a ghost of what you once believed was possible in a world that has shown you how quickly the impossible can become the lost, the beautiful can become the broken, the divine can become the disappeared. The sun sets on another day of searching, another day of calling, another day of learning what it means to live in a world where love has shown you its face and then vanished forever, leaving you with nothing but the echo of what was and the terrible certainty of what will never be again. Night falls, and you make camp in the shelter of rocks that offer no comfort, under stars that shine with the same indifferent light they gave before you knew him, before you learned that gods could fall in love with mortals and mortals, could destroy that love with a single flame, a single choice, a single moment of choosing sight over faith. You close your eyes and try to sleep, try to find some peace in the darkness that was once your friend, your sanctuary, your safe harbor, where love could exist without question. But now darkness is just darkness, empty and cold, and devoid of the presence that once made it beautiful, that once made it home, that once made it the place where two hearts could meet without the harsh judgment of day. Tomorrow will bring another day of searching, another day of hoping, another day of learning to live with the knowledge that some mistakes cannot be undone, some losses cannot be recovered, some loves cannot survive the truth that destroys them. But tonight, in the darkness that no longer holds comfort, you must find the strength to continue, to endure, to carry the weight of what you have done and what you have lost into whatever future awaits you in a world where love has disappeared forever. The stars shine down on your solitary figure, on your broken heart, on your endless regret, unmoved by mortal sorrow, unchanged by mortal loss, indifferent to the knowledge that somewhere beneath their light, a love story has ended, not with joy, but with the kind of sorrow that echoes through eternity, that becomes legend, that warns future generations about the price of needing to see what should remain hidden. Months pass like water through your fingers. You wander through valleys where shepherds tend their flocks. You climb mountains where eagles nest in ancient rocks. Your feet know every path now, every stone road, every forest trail that leads to nowhere but hope. In the market squares of Athens, you ask the merchants, "Have you seen a god with golden wings? Have you heard whispers of love itself walking among mortals?" They shake their heads. Some look at you with pity. Others turn away from the wild grief in your eyes. You visit the Temple of Apollo in Delphi. The priestess breathes sacred smoke and speaks in riddles. The one you seek cannot be found by searching, only by surrender. But you cannot surrender, not yet. Not when his name still echoes in your heart like a prayer. You travel to the shores of distant islands. You call his name to the wind-arc sea. The waves answer with salt spray and silence. In Corinth, you find a temple to Eros himself, small and simple, built by lovers who pray for faithful hearts. You kneel before his statue, carved marble that captures none of his true beauty, none of the warmth that lived in his eyes when he whispered your name in darkness. "Please," you whisper to the cold stone, "I know you can hear me. I know you know I'm here. Just give me a sign, anything." The marble remains silent. Even the God of love will not answer prayers about himself. You sleep in forests where nymphs once danced. You drink from streams that gods have blessed. Every sacred place becomes another door that will not open. Ancient Greeks believed the gods walked among them daily, hidden in plain sight. A stranger on the road might be Zeus himself. A shepherd boy could be young Hermes. You study every face now, every smile, every pair of eyes that might hold divine light. But gods are masters of disguise when they choose to be, and he chooses to remain hidden from you. In Sparta, warrior women train with bronze spears. They understand loss. They know what it means to fight for what matters most. Love is a battle too, one tells you. Her scars shine silver in the sun. Sometimes you lose. Sometimes you must learn to live with defeat. But you are not ready for defeat. Not when hope still flickers like a candle in a storm. You visit the oracle at Dodona, where Zeus speaks through rustling oak leaves. The ancient trees whisper secrets that mortals struggle to understand. He loves you still, the wind seems to say, but love wounded needs time to heal, like all living things. Time, the one thing mortals have so little of, the one thing gods have in endless supply. You begin to understand the cruelty of loving someone immortal. They can wait forever. You cannot. Your body grows thin from walking. Your hair becomes wild from sleeping under stars. Your hands develop calluses from gripping hope too tightly. But your heart grows stronger, more certain, more willing to face whatever comes next. In a small village near Thebes, an old woman offers you bread. Her eyes hold the wisdom of someone who has survived many sorrows. You have the look of someone who has touched the divine, she says, and lived to regret it. How do you know, you ask? She smiles. Because I was young once too. Because I also believed love could conquer the distance between earth and sky. She tells you about the ancient stories, mortals who loved gods. Some ended in tragedy, others in transformation. All required a price that few are willing to pay. The gods test us, she says, not from cruelty, but to see if we are worthy of the impossible. What if I'm not worthy, you whisper? Then you would have stopped searching by now. Her words follow you as you continue your journey through olive groves where silver leaves catch moonlight, through valleys where rivers sing songs older than human memory. You are becoming something new. Not quite mortal, not yet divine, something between, something forged by loss and strengthened by hope. Your search has changed you, made you understand that love is not just feeling, it is choice, daily choice, to keep going when everything seems impossible. You have chosen to keep going, even when your feet bleed, even when your voice grows hoarse from calling his name. Even when hope becomes as fragile as morning mist. The ancient world is vast, full of mysteries that mortal minds can barely grasp. But you have walked its length and breadth. You have asked every question, visited every sacred place, and still he remains hidden. Still he chooses distance over reunion. Still he leaves you to wander alone with only memory for company. But you sense a change coming, like the shift in air before a storm, like the moment between night and dawn when anything becomes possible. The gods are watching now. Your journey has caught their attention. Your refusal to surrender has impressed even those who view mortal struggles as brief entertainment. Something is about to begin. Some new chapter in this story of love and loss. You can feel it in your bones, in the way the wind whispers your name, in the way even the stars seem to hold their breath. You are ready. Whatever comes next, you are ready. Your heart has been tested by absence. Your spirit has been strengthened by searching. You have become worthy of whatever trial awaits, whatever price must be paid. Whatever impossible choice must be made. The story continues. Your story, written in footsteps across the ancient world, written in tears that have blessed 1,000 sacred places, written in hope that refuses to die. More awaits you. More trials, more tests, more chances to prove that mortal love can match divine patience when you're ready to continue. You wake to the sound of thunder, but the sky is clear. Stars shine like scattered diamonds against black velvet. The thunder comes again. Closer now. It is not whether you hear. It is the approach of divine anger. The air grows thick, heavy with power that makes your skin tingle, makes your heart race with sudden fear. She appears like a storm made flesh, like beauty weaponized, like love twisted into something dangerous and wild. Aphrodite, goddess of love, mother of the one you seek, and she is furious. Her hair flows like liquid gold. Her eyes burn with the fire of dying stars. She wears her anger like a crown of thorns. So, she says, her voice is honey laced with poison. Here is the mortal who dared to touch my son. You try to run, your legs will not obey. Divine power holds you frozen, trapped like a rabbit before a hunting hawk. Did you think you could hide from me forever? She circles you slowly, a predator studying prey. Did you think your little search would go unnoticed? The only truth you have left. She laughs. The sound is terrible, beautiful and terrible, like music played on broken strings. Love, she spits the word, like poison. You destroyed him, my perfect son, reduced to hiding in shadows because of your betrayal. I didn't mean to hurt him. I was afraid. I was humish. I was human. Yes, she says, you were human, and humans ruin everything they touch. In ancient Greece, the gods were not distant. They walked among mortals, interfered in mortal lives, punished those who forgot their place. Aphrodite was known for her terrible jealousy, her swift vengeance, her ability to turn love into suffering with a single thought. You have caused me great trouble, she continues. My son refuses to do his duties, refuses to shoot his arrows. Love itself has gone on strike because of you. She gestures to the empty air. Golden chains appear, binding your wrists, your ankles, making you her prisoner. Where marriages fail, I am blamed. Where hearts remain cold, they curse my name. All because one mortal could not trust what she could not see. The chains burn, not with heat, with the weight of cosmic justice, with the certainty that you have offended powers beyond mortal understanding. Please, you beg, let me find him. Let me apologize. Let me make this right. Make it right. Her laughter is sharp as broken glass. Child, you cannot make water flow uphill. You cannot unbreak what has been shattered. You cannot heal what your own hands have wounded. Where she drags you through the air, through clouds that part like curtains, through space that bends around her divine will. You land hard on marble floors, in a palace that makes his floating home seem simple. Here everything is gold and ivory, precious gems that capture light and throw it back in rainbow patterns. Welcome to my domain, she says, where you will learn what it truly means to suffer for love. She throws you into a cell, not of iron bars, of crystallized tears. The walls weep constantly, reminding you of all the sorrow your choice has caused. I should kill you, she says. It would be simpler, cleaner, one less complication in my perfect world. Then why don't you? You ask. Her smile is cold as winter, because death would be mercy, and I am not feeling merciful. She leaves you alone with your chains, with the weeping walls, with the crushing weight of divine displeasure. Time moves strangely here. Minutes feel like hours. Hours feel like days. You lose count of how long you sit in crystal tears, but you do not lose hope, cannot lose hope. Even here, in the heart of her anger, you feel something stirring. Some possibility that even this is part of the story. Ancient stories teach us that the gods test mortals, not to destroy them, but to see what they are truly made of, to discover if they deserve the impossible things they seek. Maybe this is your test, this prison, this punishment, this chance to prove that your love is stronger than divine anger. You begin to understand something important. Aphrodite is not just angry, she is hurt. Her son, the center of her world, has been wounded, and wounded gods are dangerous gods. But they are also, perhaps, gods who can be reasoned with. Gods who might listen to another who knows what it means to love someone beyond reason. I know you can hear me, you whisper to the empty air. I know you're listening, and I want you to know something. I would rather die in this prison than live in a world where he doesn't exist. Silence answers you, but it is a different kind of silence now. Thoughtful, considering. You gave him to the world. You continue. You made him the god of love, but you also made him capable of feeling love himself. And love, even divine love, comes with risks. The tears on the walls slow their falling, as if even they are listening. I didn't betray him on purpose. I betrayed him because I was afraid, because I'm mortal, because mortals make mistakes. But that doesn't mean I love him any less. You stand despite your chains. Look up at the golden ceiling, at the beautiful prison that holds you. So punish me, test me, do whatever you need to do. But know this, I will never stop loving your son, even if you keep me here forever. Even if I never see him again. Even if love itself forgets my name. The chains grow heavier, the walls weep harder, but you sense something shifting, some change in the divine wind. You have spoken truth to power, declared your love in the face of impossible odds, shown that mortal hearts can be as constant as immortal ones. Now you wait, in crystal tears and golden chains, for whatever comes. Next, the goddess of love holds your fate in her perfect hands, but she also holds something else. The knowledge that true love, even mortal love, is precious, rare, worth testing. Your trial has begun. The real trial, not the searching, not the wandering, but this, proving that a mortal heart can love an immortal soul without reservation. The story continues. In divine courts, where justice moves like music, where love itself must be proven worthy of its own existence. When you're ready to continue, she comes to you at dawn, when light streams through crystal walls, when hope feels most fragile. Aphrodite stands outside your weeping prison, beautiful and terrible as sunrise over a battlefield. I have decided, she announces. You will not die today. Death is too simple for what you have done. To clean, she waves her hand. The crystal walls dissolve. Your chains fall away like morning mist, but you are not free. You can feel her power wrapped around you, invisible bonds stronger than any metal. Instead, she continues, you will work, you will serve. You will prove that mortal love can endure what divine love requires. She leads you through corridors of polished marble, past fountains that sing like distant choirs, past gardens where flowers bloom in impossible colors. 3 my tasks, she says. 3 chances to show me you deserve my son. Fail any one, and you will spend eternity regretting the moment you lit that lamp. You follow her to a vast chamber. The floor is covered with seeds, millions of them, tiny and scattered. Seeds like black specks of night. Sort them, she commands, every seed in its proper pile. By sunrise, touch one grain out of place, and start again. The ancient Greeks understood impossible tasks. Heroes in their stories faced labors that should have killed them. Hercules with his 12 trials, Theseus in his labyrinth, Perseus seeking Medusa's head. But you are not a hero, just a mortal woman who loved unwisely and too well. You kneel among the scattered seeds, begin to sort lentils to the left, barley to the right. Your fingers work quickly but carefully. Hours pass. Your back aches. Your eyes burn from staring at tiny differences. Wheat from oats, sesame from mustard. Each decision crucial. The pile grows slowly, too slowly. Dawn is coming, and you have barely begun. Despair settles on your shoulders like a heavy cloak. This is impossible, designed to break you, to show you that mortal hands cannot accomplish divine tasks. But as you work, something strange happens. You are not alone. Ants, thousands of them, streaming into the chamber, working beside you, their tiny jaws sorting seeds with perfect precision. Even the smallest creatures understand true love, you whisper. Even they know some tasks require help. By sunrise, every seed rests in its proper pile, perfect, complete, impossible made. Her perfect face shows no emotion, no surprise, no anger, as if she expected this outcome. Interesting, she says. The earth itself aids you. Perhaps my son chose more wisely than I thought, but her voice carries no warmth, no forgiveness, only the promise of harder trials ahead. Tomorrow brings your second task, she says. Rest now. You will need your strength. That night, you dream of him, of gentle hands in darkness, of whispered promises, of love that felt like coming home. You wake with tears on your cheeks, but also with something else, determination, strength, the knowledge that love shared, even briefly, is worth any trial. Dawn comes again. Aphrodite leads you to a different place, a hillside where golden sheep graze. But these are not ordinary animals. Their wool shines like spun sunlight. Their eyes hold the wisdom of ages, and their hooves spark fire when they move. The golden fleece of the sun sheep, she explains. You must gather their wool. Fill this bag completely, large enough to hold a mountain, empty as your heart without him. But be warned, these sheep are sacred to Helios. They attack anyone who tries to steal their treasure. Their hooves burn. Their breath is poison. Many heroes have died attempting what I ask of you. They stamp their golden hooves. Sparks fly like tiny stars. Their eyes glow with divine anger. You approach slowly, hands raised to show you mean no harm. I'm not here to hurt you, you whisper. I'm here because I must prove my love. The largest ram steps forward. Its wool blazes like a small sun. Not run. These sacred animals seem almost gentle in comparison. I know you belong to the sun god, you continue. I know you are precious, protected, but I also know that true love requires sacrifice from everyone. You sit in the grass. Wait. Let them see you are not a threat, not a thief, just a woman willing to die for the chance to love again. Hours pass. The sun climbs higher. Still, you show respect. For creatures that could kill you with a single breath, then something wonderful happens. The wind picks up, and with it comes their wool, caught on thorns, snagged on rocks, blown free by their own movement. You gather these precious gifts, golden strands that warm your hands. Perhaps even divine animals recognize the purity of desperate love. By noon, your bag is full, heavy with golden treasure, with proof that patience can accomplish what force cannot. Aphrodite waits in her marble halls. She examines your offering, holds the golden wool to the light. Helios himself whispers that you showed proper respect. she admits. That you took only what was freely given. Remarkable. But still no warmth in her voice. Still no hint of forgiveness. One task remains, she says. The hardest, the most dangerous. The one that will either prove your worth or end your foolish quest forever. She leads you to a balcony, points to the horizon where mountains touch the sky, where legends say that world ends and mystery begins. The river Styx, she explains, the boundary between life and death. You must fetch me water from its source. In the underworld itself, your blood turns cold. The Styx is guarded by creatures that even gods fear, protected by powers that predate Olympus itself. This is your final chance, Aphrodite continues. Bring me water from the river of the dead, in this crystal vial, unbroken, unspoiled, and perhaps I will consider letting you see my son again. She hands you a vial of perfect crystal, delicate as a butterfly's wing, precious as hope itself. Fail, she says, and you join the shades that wander the underworld forever. Lost, forgotten, another mortal, who reached too high and fell too far. The task is impossible, designed to kill you, to end your story in darkness and despair. But you take the vial anyway. Hold it carefully. Feel its weight like a promise, like a prayer, because love, true love, accepts impossible odds, faces certain death, chooses hope over safety every single time. Tomorrow you journey to the underworld. Tonight you rest. Every trial, the story continues. In places where the living fear to go, where only the desperate dare to travel. The path to the underworld is not what you expected. No fire, no demons, just a gentle slope leading down into shadows that feel ancient as time itself. You carry the crystal vial carefully, each step measured, each breath precious. You are walking into death's domain. Heroes like Orpheus and Hercules had walked this path before you, but they came with divine weapons, with godly strength, with destinies written in starlight. You come with only love, only hope, only the determination to prove that mortal hearts can match immortal constancy. The air grows colder as you descend, not the cold of winter, the cold of endings, of final breaths, of dreams that dissolve in morning light. Spirits begin to appear, shades of those who have passed beyond. They watch you with hollow eyes, curious about the living soul who dares to walk among them. Turn back, whispers one, an old woman whose face holds the wisdom of many sorrows. The living do not belong. Here death is patient. It will wait for your proper time. But you continue walking, continue descending, continue carrying your impossible hope deeper into the realm of endings. The river Styx appears ahead, black water that reflects nothing, that swallows light and sound and hope, the boundary between all that is and all that was. Ancient poets wrote of this river, how it binds even gods with unbreakable oaths, how its waters can grant immortality or eternal suffering, how it serves as the final judge of truth. You kneel beside its banks, prepare to fill your crystal vial. But something moves in the water, something vast and ancient and utterly terrifying. A hydra rises from the depths, 9 heads swaying like deadly flowers, eyes that burn with the fire of first creation, teeth that could tear apart the fabric of reality itself. Who dares disturb the sacred waters? It hisses. Each head speaks in harmony, a chorus of divine menace. I am here for love, you answer. Your voice shakes, but does not break. I need this water to prove that mortal love can match divine patience. The hydra's heads turn to study you. Ancient eyes that have seen the rise and fall of civilizations, that have watched mortals come and go like seasons. Many have tried, it says. Heroes with bronze swords, demigods with father's blessing, all have failed. All have become food for the river's hunger. Then I will be the first to succeed, you reply, or I will die trying. Something in your voice makes the creature pause. Perhaps it recognizes the tone, the certainty that comes from having nothing left to lose, the calm that comes from accepting possible odds. You speak like one already dead, it observes, like one who has already surrendered everything that keeps mortals clinging to life. I have, you admit. I lost everything when I lit that lamp, when I chose sight over trust, when I destroyed the most beautiful thing that ever existed in my world. The Hydra considers this, its heads swaying hypnotically, like a dance, like a judgment being weighed. Yet you continue, it says. You search, you suffer, you face impossible tasks. Why? What keeps you moving when all reason says to stop? Love, you answer simply. Love that has changed me, made me into something more than I was, something stronger than ordinary mortal hearts. You stand slowly, approach the water's edge. The Hydra could strike at any moment, could end you with a single bite, but you feel no fear, only purpose. I understand now, you continue. These trials weren't just about proving my worth. They were about transformation, about becoming someone who could love a god without being destroyed by that love. You dip the crystal vial into the black water. The Hydra watches but does not attack, as if it too understands that something sacred is happening. The ants helped me because they recognized devoted labor. The sheep gave me their wool because they saw respectful patience. And you, guardian of death itself, will let me pass because you recognize what I have become. The vial fills with water that seems to swallow light, that feels heavy with the weight of endings and beginnings, that carries the power of ultimate truth. What have you become? The Hydra asks, its voice now curious rather than threatening. Someone who loves without reservation, you answer. Someone who serves without question. Someone who faces death itself for the chance to love again. You seal the vial carefully, hold it like the treasure it is, like a piece of the underworld itself, like hope made liquid. You are no longer fully mortal, the Hydra observes. The trials have changed you, made you something between human and divine, something new. You feel it now, the change that has been growing with each impossible task, each moment of choosing love over safety, each step deeper into mystery. Your body feels lighter. Your heart beats with a rhythm that matches the music of the spheres. Your eyes see more clearly than ever before. The transformation is not complete. The Hydra continues, but it has begun. You are becoming worthy of the love you seek, worthy of the God who risked everything to save you. You bow to the ancient guardian, show respect for the creature that could have killed you, but chose instead to witness your transformation. Thank you, you whisper, for seeing what I am becoming, for understanding what love can do to a willing heart. The journey back to the surface feels different. The shades of the dead bow as you pass, recognizing something in you that was not there before. Some light that death itself has blessed you, emerge into sunlight that feels like blessing, like welcome, like the promise of new beginnings. Aphrodite waits in her marble halls, but when she sees you, her expression changes. Surprise flickers across her perfect features. You return, she says, and you bring what I asked for. But you are not the same woman who descended into shadow. No, you agree, I am not. The trials have changed me, made me into someone who can love an immortal without being destroyed by that love. You hand her the crystal vial. Water from the river Styx, proof that you have faced death itself and returned transformed. She holds it to the light, studies the dark water that reflects nothing, water that binds even gods with unbreakable truth. Interesting, she murmurs. The water accepts you, recognizes you as worthy of its power. Even death's own river blesses your love. For the first time since you met her, something like approval crosses her divine features. You have surprised me, she admits. I expected you to fail, to die, to join the countless mortals who have loved unwisely and paid the ultimate price. Instead, I have become someone new, you reply, someone strong enough to love your son, someone constant enough to match his immortal heart. She nods slowly, as if seeing you clearly for the first time, as if recognizing what the trials have accomplished. The tasks are complete, she announces. You have proven your worth, shown that mortal love can transform itself into something divine, something eternal. But her voice still carries caution, still holds the protective anger of a mother who has seen her child wounded. One final test remains, she says. Not one I will give you, but one you must face yourself. One that will determine whether this story ends in joy or tragedy. She turns away, begins to walk toward halls that stretch beyond mortal sight. Sleep now, she commands. Rest. Tomorrow you face the choice that will define not just your fate, but the fate of love itself. You sink onto marble floors that feel soft as clouds, close eyes that have seen the underworld and returned. Rest a body that has been transformed by impossible trials. Tomorrow brings the final test, the ultimate choice. The moment when all your suffering will be justified or rendered meaningless. But tonight you rest and dream of golden wings, of gentle hands of love that waits beyond every trial. The story continues toward endings that might be beginnings, toward choices that will echo through eternity. You wake to silence, complete and perfect silence. No birds sing, no wind stirs. Even your heartbeat seems muffled in the strange quiet. Aphrodite stands before you, but she looks different now, less angry, more thoughtful, as if the night has changed her too. Your final task awaits, she says. Her voice carries something new. Not warmth exactly, but respect, the kind gods give to mortals who have proven themselves worthy. She leads you to a chamber you haven't seen before. Walls of black marble, ceiling that disappears into shadow. At the center sits a single box, small, carved from obsidian, beautiful and terrible. It seems to pulse with its own dark heartbeat. This contains beauty from the underworld, she explains. A gift from Persephone herself, queen of the dead, goddess of spring's return. You approach the box carefully. It feels warm to the touch, alive, dangerous. Take it to the highest tower, Aphrodite commands, but do not open it. Do not look inside. Do not let curiosity overcome wisdom as it did before. Her words are a warning, a test, a reminder of how curiosity destroyed your happiness once already. You lift the box, it weighs nothing and everything, like holding concentrated starlight, like cradling a piece of eternity itself. The climb to the tower seems endless, stairs that spiral upward into clouds, into sky, into the realm where gods make their judgments. Each step tests your resolve. The box whispers to you, not in words, in feelings, in the promise of secrets revealed, of mysteries solved, of beauty beyond mortal comprehension. Just a peek, it seems to say, just one small look. What harm could it do? But you have learned, you have grown. You have become someone who understands that some gifts are meant to remain unopened. Some mysteries are meant to stay hidden. You reach the tower's peak, place the box on an altar of white marble. Step back, wait, but the whispers grow stronger, more insistent, more impossible to ignore. Divine beauty, they promise, the secret of eternal youth, the power to transform anything into perfect loveliness. All yours, all waiting, all requiring just one moment of courage. Your hands shake, your heart pounds. The same curiosity that lit the lamp begins to burn again. Smaller, now weaker, but still there. You think of all you have endured, all you have suffered, all you have lost. Surely, you deserve to know what lies inside. Surely you have earned the right to this one small secret. The ancient Greeks told many stories about forbidden boxes, about mortals who could not resist the urge to look, to know, to understand what should remain hidden. Pandora, with her jar of sorrows, heroes who opened doors that should have stayed closed. Lovers who spoke names that should have remained silent, all lessons about the price of curiosity, all warnings about the danger of needing to see what should stay hidden. But you are tired, so tired of trusting without understanding, of loving without seeing, of hoping without proof. Your fingers find the box's lid, feel its smooth surface, find the tiny catch that holds it closed. Just once, you whisper, just for a moment, "I'll close it right away. No one will know." The lid opens with a soft click, like a sigh, like a door opening onto eternity. Inside is beauty, not the kind mortals understand, not soft curves or pleasing colors, but raw beauty, pure beauty, the kind that destroys everything it touches. It rises from the box like smoke, like light, like the breath of creation itself, and it enters you, fills you, transforms you, but not in the way you expected. The beauty is too much, too pure, too divine for mortal flesh to contain. It burns through you like fire, like poison, like the touch of a star. You fall. The box tumbles from your hands. Your vision blurs. Your breath comes short and sharp. This is death, not the dramatic death of heroes. The quiet death of someone who reached too far, who asked for too much, who opened what should have stayed closed. Sleep takes you, not gentle sleep, the sleep that feels like endings, like the final page of a story that will never be finished. But even as consciousness fades, you feel no regret, only peace. The peace that comes from having tried everything, from having loved completely, from having faced every trial with courage. Your last thought is of him, of golden wings and gentle hands, of love that existed for a brief moment in perfect darkness, of happiness that was worth any price. That the box lies open. The box lies open, its contents spent, its purpose fulfilled, beautiful in your final sleep, peaceful in your eternal rest. A mortal who dared to love a god and paid the ultimate price. But this is not the end. This is not how love stories finish when they are true, when they are strong enough to transform both lovers, when they are worth the attention of the gods themselves. Something moves in the shadows, something familiar, something that has been watching. Divine footsteps echo on marble floors. Love itself has come to claim what belongs to it. The story is not over. Love's story never truly ends. It only pauses, rests, waits for the moment when reunion becomes possible. Your breathing grows shallow, your heartbeat fades, but you are not alone. You have never been alone. Love has been watching, waiting, preparing for this moment, when all seems lost, when hope dies, when mortal strength fails. That is when divine love shows its true power. My willingness to risk everything. Its ability to transform tragedy into triumph. The shadows stir. The air grows warm. Someone is coming. Someone who has loved you through every trial, every mistake, every moment of doubt and fear. Someone who will not let this story end in sorrow. Who will not let love die in an unopened box. Who will not let the best thing that ever happened disappear into eternal sleep. Your eyes close, but love's eyes are opening. Love's voice is calling your name. Love's hands are reaching for you. The final chapter begins, not with endings, but with beginnings, with reunion, with the kind of love that conquers even death itself. The story continues, in ways you never imagined, in places beyond mortal understanding, in the arms of the one who loved you first. You dream of darkness, soft and warm, like the nights when love was enough, when trust was possible, when happiness lived in shadows that held no fear, but something pulls you back. A familiar voice, calling your name with heartbreak that echoes through eternity. Please don't leave me. Not now, not when I've finally found the courage to choose you over everything. Your eyes flutter open. The world is soft and golden, bathed in light that feels like blessing. Like coming home, he kneels beside you. Eros, god of love. More beautiful than memory, more perfect than dreams. His golden wings spread wide like a shelter, like protection from all harm. You came, you whisper. Your voice is barely breath, barely sound. I never left, he replies. Tears shine on his perfect face. I was always watching, always hoping, always waiting for the moment when you would need me most. His hands touch your face, gentle as butterfly wings, warm as summer sunshine, real as the love that has carried you through every trial. I was afraid, he admits, afraid of my mother's anger, afraid of the other god's judgment, afraid of what loving a mortal would cost me. You try to sit up. He helps you, holds you against his chest, where his heart beats like music, watching you become someone worthy of immortal devotion that changed everything. The tower around you begins to shift, to change, to become something else entirely. The floor becomes soft as silk. You are rising, moving upward, let to beg for permission to love you forever. Mount Olympus appears below you, vast beyond imagining, beautiful beyond description, the home of immortals, the place where fate is decided. You land in a great hall. Columns of white marble reach toward clouds. Thrones of gold and silver hold the most powerful beings in existence. Zeus sits at the center, king of gods, ruler of sky and storm. His eyes hold the wisdom of ages, the power to grant or deny any request. The god of love seeks audience and brings with him a mortal who has impressed even the underworld. Eros steps forward, still, holding your hand over godly pride, over the easy path of immortal solitude. Great Zeus, he begins, I ask for something unprecedented, something that breaks ancient laws, something that will change the very nature of what gods can love. Speak, Zeus commands. I ask for permission to make this mortal my wife, to grant her immortality, to let love itself be transformed by her courage. The assembled gods murmur, some in shock, some in anger, some in curiosity about this unprecedented request. Aphrodite steps forward, something about sacrifice and transformation and the power of choosing devotion over safety. My son speaks truly, she says. This mortal has proven herself worthy. She has faced trials that would break heroes. She has loved without reservation. She has chosen devotion over life itself. And what of you, mortal? Zeus asks. His attention turns to you. Ancient eyes that have seen the rise and fall of civilizations. What do you ask of the gods? You step forward. I ask for nothing. You say, I have already received everything I ever wanted. The chance to love him, to be loved by him, to become worthy of that love through trial and transformation. Zeus nods slowly, as if your answer pleases him. This is rare, precious, worth protecting. He stands. Divine power radiates from him like light, like warmth. I grant your request, he announces, but with conditions. This mortal will become immortal, but she will also become something new, the goddess of the soul, the divine protector of love that transforms, the patron of those who choose devotion over safety. Power flows through you, divine energy that changes everything. Your mortal flesh becomes immortal. Your human heart becomes capable of holding infinite love. Your soul expands to embrace the cosmos itself. You are no longer mortal, but you remember what it felt like to be human. To need proof and comfort and the simple touch of loving hands. That memory will make you a better, goddess. One who understands mortal hearts, who can guide them through the trials that love requires, who can show them that transformation is possible. Eros takes your hand, his equal now, his partner in the divine work of love, his companion for all eternity. Welcome to Olympus, he whispers, welcome to forever. The other gods applaud. Even those who doubted now see the wisdom of Zeus's choice. Love strengthened by trial, devotion proven by sacrifice, mortality transformed into something divine and eternal. You are married in a ceremony that shakes the cosmos, attended by gods and mortals alike, told by lovers who face their own trials, whispered by those who must choose between safety and devotion, remembered by anyone who has ever loved someone seemingly impossible to reach. The ancient Greeks called you Psyche, soul, the part of humanity that can love divine things, that can be transformed by devotion, that can choose love over fear, hope over despair, faith over doubt. Your trials teach that love is not passive, not simple, not easy. True love requires courage, sacrifice, the willingness to change. Joy echoes through eternity. You and Eros rule over love together now. Guide mortals through their own trials. Show them that transformation is possible, that love can conquer even death itself. And every night, when the world grows quiet, you remember the darkness where your love began. The gentle touch of hands you could not see. The voice that whispered your name with infinite tenderness. Some loves are meant to remain hidden. Others are meant to be revealed. But all true love transforms those who dare to embrace it. Your story ends where it began, in love, in choice, in the willingness to risk everything for the chance to hold heaven in mortal hands. And now, something true. You too have faced impossible trials. You too have chosen love over safety. You too have walked through darkness toward light, toward hope, toward the possibility of transformation. The struggles you carry, the fears that visit you in quiet moments, the times when you've had to choose trust over certainty. These are your own divine trials, your own chances to become something more than you were. Love comes in many forms. The love of family, of friends, of passions that call to your soul, of dreams that seem impossible but feel necessary, of the person you are becoming through each choice to keep going. Like Psyche, you are transforming, growing stronger through every challenge, becoming worthy of the love that awaits you. finding the courage to trust what you cannot always see. Rest. Now, in this knowledge, let your breathing slow, let your heart settle into the rhythm of peace. Let yourself drift into dreams where love conquers all, where trials lead to triumph, where every ending is really a beginning. Your own love story continues tomorrow.